Tuesday Tuesday with a twist. We want you to pick an outfit and send it in to Hoda and Jenna's social media pages. Check it out. You know what? The countdown is starting to give me the nerves.
Oh, I think we should ask Tina Fey if she thinks it's a good idea if you jump.
I'm sure the answer is going to be no, because that's what everybody's been saying.
Well,
but I do like one of the things that has been making me feel, first of all, blocking it completely out makes me feel better.
Do you think about okay,
No.
You don't?
No.
And until we bring it up on the show,
yes,
you're not thinking about it.
and then I kind of panic internally for a few minutes, and then I block it out again.
You know what? You're good at compartmentalizing your stuff. You put stuff in certain pockets.
Until it explodes.
Until it blows like Mount Etna, and everyone take cover. Okay, because that happens. Okay, we've been getting advice for Jenna. So here is our latest advice. This is from Mary,
Mary from Mount Airy, Maryland.
Wait, let's do it again. Mary from Mount Airy. Mary from Mount Airy, Maryland. She's got advice. She's the wife of a U.S. Marine, and how cool is this? Jenna, she actually went skydiving with the U.S. Army Golden Knights. That's the same group you're jumping with.
Yeah, that's the same team that also my grandfather jumped with. So here's what Mary has to say.
The day of my jump, I was thrilled to learn that my tandem instructor and my videographer were both the soldiers that jumped with your grandfather, President Bush. And wow, I mean, if they were trusted with him, then certainly I was in very good hands. The first 3 seconds out of the plane was absolutely terrifying. About 5 seconds in, it was just euphoric. And by the time Mike opened his parachute and we were actually able to talk, I told him, I can't believe you get to do this for your job. And I was ready to go up again.
That was amazing! Oh my God! Oh my gosh, she was ready to go up again. How about that? 3 seconds of 3 seconds is like
terror.
1, 2, 3, and then it's euphoria.
Okay.
That's what you're gonna have.
I can do it.
Wow.
I know, that's so cool, and I recognize Mike. He did jump with my grandpa, yes.
That's Mike.
And I think I'm gonna see him Thursday.
I can't wait. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Okay, now I'm going to compartmearse again, and let's talk about Jessica Biel. Put it far away.
Bury it like we do our feelings and emotions.
And then I will take it out when I overeat later today.
Or when we overreact to something that wasn't so bad. Don't you do that?
Yes.
Have you ever done that? Like,
yes.
Like I'm trying to back up the car, and like Joel will say, like, okay, a little further, a little further. You're like this, a little further. Not so much. You're like, what? And all of a sudden your head explodes because you remember.
Like, and I feel kind of guilty, but this morning, you know, I woke up at the crack. I wake up earlier than Henry. He'd put out my coffee cup, my to-go mug I love, and my little pod next to the Keurig, and a little spoon. And last night I was like bathing the girls, reading to them. Where's your dad? I mean, I said that out loud. And he came up and he said, I was just cleaning the kitchen. And then this morning when I went down and saw that, so he texted me this morning, that's what I was doing when you said, where is your dad? And it was that like overreaction that was probably bundled up of, you know, other things.
By the way, that's the most beautiful thing in the world.
Yeah, he was just putting a pot of coffee.
Can I share something that Joel does every morning? And I'm not kidding, this happens every morning. I go downstairs every single morning without fail since we started living together. When I go downstairs in the Keurig, there is a pod and my mug under it. And it's nothing,
simple.
But it's every single day. So when I walk downstairs, I know that before he went to sleep, because he usually goes to sleep after me because I go to bed.
He thinks about you in the morning.
He thinks about me for a minute.
Well, he doesn't do that every morning, but he did it last night.
But that makes it even more special. It's like it's a gesture that wasn't.
To wake up and see that.
And you're right. You're like, where's your dad? And he's like cleaning the kitchen and making your coffee.
For the next morning, I know.
Doing?
Why didn't I just keep those words deep down where my skydiving goes?
Bury all of
and my little fat 13-year-old child lives. Can I go
We're going
back
to squish
in there?
everything in the box where you belong. All right, so Jessica Biel is talking about, she actually, I don't know if you guys know this, but she had her second baby out of the public eye, and it was during COVID times.
I didn't know that.
Forgot too.
Or maybe we knew it and we forgot, but she and Justin Timberlake welcomed son Phineas last summer, and no one ever even knew she was pregnant.
They are so good at like keeping their stuff tight. So here's what she had to say about motherhood, and she was on Dax Shepard's Armchair Expert podcast. Take a look.
I had like a secret COVID baby.
Wow.
Oh my God, congratulations.
Congrats. It wasn't like supposed to be a secret. It was just COVID happened, and then I went to Montana with my family and never left. Someone said to me, 2 is like having 1,000. And that's exactly what it feels like. The balance of everything is very different and super hard. But I agree. I mean, it's amazing. It's so interesting. It's so funny. The conversations I'm having now with my 6-year-old
Oh, a 6-year-old.
is so cool. Like, he's a real person.
Yeah.
Saying the funniest stuff, and he's so sensitive and tender.
That's
like
so.
listening to
Yeah, that's. By the way, we want to talk about having one child and two children, but Dak Shepard is really getting all the
Yes.
guests. And by the way, how about Jessica, who never speaks about these
know.
things, talking about that, feeling comfortable and safe?
In his podcast that allows people the space to just speak their truth.
Yeah,
You know.
because Prince Harry was on his
Yes.
podcast and gave a lot of
Yes.
secret information.
And interesting to go from 1 to 2 is not easy.
Which was harder, 1 to 2 or 2 to 3?
I think.
After 2, is it just like, oh, well?
I think because everybody says, oh, after 2, everything's just, so then you think it's going to be easier. I think anytime you add a child into the mix, it's a little tricky.
It's a little tricky.
And like when she says, I hate the word balance, but I think what she means is till you figure out the rhythm.
The rhythm.
And
how do you, if you have 3 kids, you need 3 car seats.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of.
That's right.
There's
And
like
we
you
didn't. I wanted a minivan.
Yeah,
Because I wanted more space.
Yeah, you need room.
But we just kept our same
Just
car
jam
and
them
then
all
just
3
jammed 3 in the back.
3 in the back, yeah.
Anyway.
All right, so Tuesday is usually today, but we're going to take a little break because we actually need your help in a big, big way.
Okay, every week you guys vote on 3 pre-selected wardrobe choices for each of us, but we want you to actually help pick the outfits out themselves.
The 3. We don't want to give you 3 and say pick one. We just want you to go to like the store, basically online,
Zara,
and pick something for us. So head to Hoda and Jenna social media pages, our Twitter, Facebook, Insta stories. Anyway, we're going to have some shoppable links for dresses, jumpsuits, pants, and blouses.
Yeah, just send us the shoppable links.
Yeah.
You send us what you think we should wear, and who knows, your pick may just turn
Wouldn't
up.
that be cool? I bet you there's
I like that idea.
Yeah, I love that too.
Because really, we're just shopping from our own closet, and people don't seem to like our closet.
Well, because it's the same old stuff. All right, guys, we love a cute video, and Meghan Trainor, whom we adore, posted the cutest video of her 4-month-old son, Riley. First of all, I cannot believe Riley is already 4 months.
And speaking like a genius.
Well, these were apparently his very first words. Please listen extra closely.
I love you. I love you.
We're gonna count it.
Wait, roll it again.
what?
We have to roll it again. Okay, that was so clear. That was like, that was clear. By the way, they were celebrating Daryl. Wait. Yes, he said it. Riley said it. It's Daryl's birthday, by the way. That was Daryl's birthday, the 29th. It was his 29th birthday.
But okay, I love you. It took how? Till he was almost 2 to say I love you. For 4-month-old to speak like that?
2?
No,
Almost 2.
I mean, but I'm like 18 months. To say that at 4 months, that kid's a genius.
He said, maybe because they're always singing in the house, I bet, and there's always,
Words.
lots of words and
Yeah,
singing.
are you saying that to make me feel better? I'm going to go and sing.
I
Do you
mean,
remember your kid's first words?
I mean, I kind of think, because they go like da 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 da. Jimmy Fallon, he made every kid do that.
Well, it's also just true.
What about yours?
Da da da.
Because it's easy.
My
Mama.
first word, da da. No, mama's harder to say. Which is ridiculous because we're the ones that grew the humans in us.
One of my favorite dinner party conversations, I was sitting next to Meredith Vieira, and Meredith goes, on your first kid, you remember everything you write down in the book. You have the book and you have the shoes and the baby, just the second and third kid, you're like, I don't know. Just my third kid was like, hey, what was my first word? And she goes, balloon. And the kid goes, balloon? I had 2 syllables. She goes, yeah. And I go, really? She goes, no. Give them a memory. Just move on. I thought that was so funny. Just give them a memory.
How many times do I say I have 2 girls and you're like, and a boy? My girls and your son. No, but I think also it makes the third. You're the youngest, right?
I'm the middle.
Oh, you're the middle.
I'm the jam.
I was like, I think sometimes the youngest is just super chill because they've kind of been ignored.
Well, yeah, I think there is something about, because think about how we hovered over our first and our second were just kind of looser and they were like so much cooler. And we're like, why is she so much cooler in that way, calmer?
Yes.
But that's because of us. Yeah. We did it.
We do everything that's bad.
How are you?
I'm okay. Thank you guys for having me. This is so nice.
Craig, this book is personal, and it's very vulnerable. You know, I think Hoda and I are both so proud of you because we see you as this friend and this colleague who's buttoned up and telling the news, and I can tell you're a little bit
uncomfortable,
a little nervous about telling your own story, but it is brave. So, what ultimately made you decide to do this?
A couple of things. I mean, my dad and I just got to such a good point, and he and I had some conversations about his story doing some good, and he wanted to do some good. And then the pandemic hit. I had a lot more free time on my hands, so both of those things just sort of converged, and that's how we got it.
Did you ever think you'd see your dad go to AA? I mean,
No.
like you said, you knew him your whole life.
No.
Were you shocked when finally the intervention happened and finally he said yes to it? Because he still needs to say yes.
Stunned.
Yeah.
Because we tried before.
Yeah.
I mean, we tried interventions over the years, and they just didn't stick. And this time, the last time we did it, we enlisted a professional. And that made all the difference. We enlisted a professional, and I write about it in the book. It also helps. It's funny now, it wasn't funny at the time. It also helps that when we had the intervention, he was blackout drunk. The next morning, I called the facility where he went, and I checked in on him, and the doctor was like, "Oh, yeah, he's fine now. He's in our sober tank." He didn't remember going.
I think the other part of this story is that it's a true love story because it's about forgiveness.
Yeah.
It is.
And redemption.
It is.
And grace.
Yes.
And those are things that I think we see glimmers of them in our society, but not like as clearly as I think you were raised to see.
It became apparent to me over the last couple of years, especially, that I had to forgive my dad. Not for him, for me. I had to forgive him for myself. But I also wrote this to help him understand that he's forgiven. Because for a number of years, he would feel so bad about the years that he missed and how he wasn't really there. And I wanted him to know, while he's, still with us. I wanted to give him his flowers to make sure he understood all is right.
Well, you gave him his flowers. He gave you that letter that you talked about. Those were your flowers. And we know that faith is like real big in your heart. You talk about it here. You feel it. We feel it from you. And how special it is. There's one particular hymn that you love. It's called "Guide Me, O Thou Great Jehovah."
Yes.
Well, New Life Baptist Church.
No, they didn't.
Oh, yes, we did, honey. Let's take a listen.
This is my childhood
to that.
church.
Listen.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. Oh. That's my Aunt Wanda on the far left. That's my childhood church.
Yeah.
I know. And that's your aunt on the end?
That's who you went with. Your grandma took you there, right?
Oh, I grew up. You have no idea how much that means to me. I was shaped and molded and formed by that church. By that, I sang in the choir, 40 years ago, with my grandma in that church.
And there's your Aunt Wanda. I didn't know your Aunt Wanda was in that number.
Her nickname's Boo.
Well, we love Boo, but we love you more. So good luck and enjoy your book tour.
Yeah,
and
we're
just
so proud of
receive
you.
all the goodness
Thank you.
that's coming to you. You can.
I know we're not supposed to be hugging.
Oh, we love you. Happy Father's Day.
Thank you. Just so sweet.
Happy Father's Day.
Today Talks continues after the break. My exclusive chat with Hoda you can only see here on Today All Day.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
Make the most of your day with
Today in 30.
We give you a mix of everything you love about our show.
In a mere 30 minutes.
Savannah and Hoda bring you what you must know. The biggest moments of the morning.
One Republic!
Exclusive interviews.
Why did it work for you?
You're right. I am more talented than the rest.
And important headlines.
Major medical news this morning.
Watch Today in 30 on your schedule, streaming every day on Today All Day. Make the most of your day with
Today in 30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
In a mere 30 minutes.
Watch Today in 30 on your schedule, streaming every day on Today All Day.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
Welcome back to Today Talks and our exclusive content you can only see here on Today All Day.
Yeah, we had so many great guests today that we loved. We loved seeing Tina Fey in the flesh. That was crazy. We keep saying that she was our very first guest in the studio, but quite frankly, your dad might have been our very
Why
first
did we
guest.
say that?
I think we said it because your dad was in a different category.
Well,
He's a
'cause he-
former president, and most of it was on the plaza, except for an
When you
interview
had an
I
interview
did,
in here.
right, in these exact
Because
chairs.
actually Al came up this morning.
Yeah.
First of all,
Yeah.
to hear Al's music playing, and Al's always like, hey, morning, JBH. He's like, why are they saying she's the first guest? And I was like, oh, that's a good
Yeah,
point.
well, I mean, I think like the first kind of entertainment, like guest that isn't a regular guest that we
Yes.
would have on our show.
Yes.
Your dad was an exception
Well,
in
they
the
know we're doing the
category,
swearing-in
all by
ceremony.
himself. But by the way, Girls 5 Eva, please listen to that song called "I'm Afraid," but don't do it with your kids
Does
in the
it
room.
have bad words?
Yes, not terrible words, but words that you don't want to explain to your kid. It's so hilarious and silly, but it's so funny to hear great singers like Sarah Bareilles
Yes.
and Renee Elise Goldsberry and
Busy Paula.
Phillips and Paula singing beautiful songs, but that are crazy sounding. It's a good one.
You know what's so funny? You were just saying about don't watch it with your kids in the
Yeah.
room. I interviewed these authors yesterday.
Yeah.
3 authors that I respect so much. And one of them, Ruman Alam, he
Yeah.
wrote Leave the World Behind, which
Okay.
is going to be turned into a movie with Denzel Washington and Julia Roberts. We have this kind of...
Wait, Denzel and Julia
Yes.
again together?
Yes.
Pelican Brief.
Yes. Yes, and this book is so good. I can't wait to see the adaptation. But
Yeah.
my point is, we have this texting relationship,
Yeah.
mainly via Instagram. I think of him as a
Yeah.
friend, where we talk about books to read to our kids.
Oh,
and
okay.
I'm just so fond of it because.
Wait, so everyone texts books
So
ideas?
everybody kind of texts. He texts me. He has a child close to Mila's age, and we had this moment where I said, reading Charlotte's Web to Mila,
Yeah.
which if you. Haley's the age.
I know, but I'm afraid. You said she cried at the
Yeah,
end.
but it was the most beautiful. The writing is so beautiful. I can't tell you. They write about crickets and summertime ending and seasons changing. And it's poetic. And maybe this is.
Well, I love that. I'm just worried. Well, the whole dying topic just came up for us.
Oh, yeah.
Haley goes, what happens when you die? And I go, well, you go to heaven. She goes, well, can we go together?
Oh.
And I said, well, I'll definitely be there when you get there, for sure, waiting. And she goes, how do we get there? Just like listening to a 4-year-old's, where do we sleep? On the clouds. She was looking up. It was just like so beautiful, but it was so like, there's like an innocence before that conversation happens, and then that one happens, and then another one happens, and another one.
Well, you're right. And I guess Mila, we really went there because
Yes.
I lost a lot of family members.
Yeah.
But we were talking about, Mila just read Because of Winn-Dixie, which was a book I studied as a little girl. I couldn't quite remember it, but the mom leaves. And Mila said before bed, well, Mama, you're never going to leave me, right? And I said, I'm never going to leave you. She goes, not even for Oprah? Not even for Oprah? And I said, not even for Oprah.
See?
Not even for Oprah unless she asks.
she asks you. But
But you're right. It's like, that's what I ask Ruman. I say, what books are appropriate for this age level? Because you're going to have to have those
eventually it has to.
conversations.
Yeah, you have to, and you keep. I know it's
And
better
maybe
not to stall
Charlotte's
on.
Web is a good way to start it, but maybe wait a summer. Okay.
All right. Well, that's it for today's episode of Today's Talk. Keep watching for more Today All Day, guys.
I think this might be my first in-person interview in more than a year.
It's definitely mine.
I don't know how to act.
I know. Like, are you being weird with people? Because I'm being weird with people.
I feel weird. Am I being weird right now?
No.
Okay.
But you know what I mean? Like my instinct of to hug or not to hug, to elbow or not to elbow. I shook someone's hand once and I am still like having a hangover from it. It's such a weird ritual.
You're like, sorry, I'm going to write you an apology for shaking your hand.
I promise this has been, sanitized in a...
I know. I've thought about what are the things that are just not coming back.
Yeah, I hear you.
And I wonder about handshakes.
I feel like handshakes is at the top.
You don't think it's coming back?
I don't think we need them. But I was wondering if we were going to come up with like a new greeting.
Well, there's the elbow bump.
The elbow bump doesn't, it feels like it's in place of.
Yeah.
Like in the same way that Japanese culture has the bow and it's like a custom of, and it feels respectful.
Yeah.
I wonder if something's going to come out of this because the handshake was created. Because who really wants to touch somebody else's hand?
What could it be? Well, the double air kiss is gone then. If the handshake's gone.
Oh, yeah.
Goodbye.
Forget about the triple air kiss.
Oh, forget it. So what have you been doing during this pandemic?
I did make sourdough bread.
Is that a new skill?
I mean, yes.
Why sourdough bread?
Well, there was at the very beginning of the pandemic, we all started. I think my inner pioneer woman kicked in, and so I was making sure everyone was eating because we weren't ordering food in. We didn't know whether we could or not.
Yeah.
We were doing Zoom school. I was genuinely providing for my family, and I was exhausted. It was really hard.
Pioneer womaning. That was hard.
It was hard. I mean, the short lifespan makes sense now.
Did you enjoy all the time at home with all you've got?
I actually
your partner,
have,
your 4 kids, everybody's under the same roof.
Yeah, and 3 dogs. I genuinely am still enjoying it. I think I burned myself out early on in that Saturday Night Live just in and of itself is such an intense schedule. And I think starting out that way, I sort of always fell into work in that, I'll be there or I'll show up, I'll do it. And I kind of never stopped. And then I think when I chose to have my oldest daughter, Pearl, I was pregnant on the show. And I just never really stopped. I thought like, I can just kind of keep going. Then I brought her with me after I had her. And it was because my girlfriend, Anna Gasteyer, was the first woman in the cast to do it. She was pregnant on the show. And we just watched that and thought, I guess we can do this. Great. And then Tina and I we were both walking around pregnant and it's great. It's great to have a home like that where they just adapt to you. But now I'm tired. I'm really tired.
Well, because now they're grown up and they have more needs.
Yeah. And I like being home. I like not being in the car all day because I live in California and they all have a place to go. And I feel like raising children today is about making sure they have 3 million after school activities. And it's too much. Like when I was a kid, I danced, but I wasn't on like a dance team. I wasn't competing. I wasn't going to the World Series of my Little League softball team. Like you just played. And I feel like today it's too much.
There's a lot of that back to basics kind of feel. It's one silver lining from everything that we've all been through.
So. Yeah, I like it. I'm also glad I'm not in my 20s because I'd be chomping at the bit to get out. But I'm sort of like, I partied. I'm good.
Just here making sourdough.
I'm just, by the way, I gave up.
It does feel like one of the harder breads you could have tried.
It's exhausting. It's really hard.
And when you're done, you have sourdough.
Yeah. And that was fun for like a few weeks until it started. You have to feed. It's like having another baby. You have to feed the mother all the time.
It requires a lot of maintenance.
Yeah. She was very needy.
Make the most of your day with
Today in 30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show in a mere 30 minutes.
Savannah and Hoda bring you what you must know. The biggest moments of the morning.
One Republic!
Exclusive interviews.
Why did it work for you?
You're right. I am more talented than the rest.
And important headlines.
Major medical news this morning.
Watch Today in 30 on your schedule. Streaming every day on Today All Day.
Our week-long journey begins here in Orlando, Louisville, Kentucky. Cleveland.
Our Across America journey, reporting on an America rebuilding and reimagining a future after the pandemic. Breaking news tonight, the ceasefire in the Middle East after 11 days of deadly violence. Richard Engel is on the ground. Do you think there's a connection between policing and racism? How narrow a window do you have to really get kids back where we would want them to be?
NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt.
It has been a long year.
Yeah, where it's been anything but normal.
Well, now there's hope. The COVID vaccines.
I know. It's been a little confusing.
Like really confusing.
So it's more important than ever to make a plan. Visit planyourvaccine.com
to find out where and when to get your vaccine.
What are you waiting for? Roll up your sleeves and plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
You recently returned to SNL. Your kids were in the audience.
Yeah.
What was that moment like?
That was amazing. I feel like getting to share that with them was the highlight, because how often do you get to share what you do, but also that place is my happy place. So really, truly being in your element and doing what you love and showing people that you love, that you're happy, that's so rare. And it's as a parent, it's the one thing I constantly think about is, will they find something that they love in life? As long as they're happy and they haven't killed anyone, I support it. And so I want them to find what makes them happy, because when you have that joy, it doesn't feel like work. And if you can be so lucky to, I've been doing kind of what Saturday Night Live is since I was a kid in my living room. It's not that different.
You have any kids who you think have the bug or the talent?
I'm afraid so.
Shall remain nameless.
I mean, let's just say there's a lot of star power going on in my house. But yeah, they don't have to be performers. As long as there's a joy in what they're doing. And that's hard. It's hard to find that. And I see a lot of, kids going into college or taking that year off, trying to figure out, it's hard to know what you want to do unless you really know what you want to do. And that's not everybody. But yeah, I think, having grown up at the show, and then the majority of the crew I was there with, and they're still there. So they remember when I had my oldest daughter, and seeing her now, and she's taller than me, it's like a time capsule for all of us. Yeah. And it's so sweet.
How did they respond? What did the kids say?
Oh, they really liked it. I can't tell if they liked it more than seeing Colin Jost, but they loved it. They loved it.
How good did it feel to step into Beyonce's wig one more time?
It felt so good. I mean, I really genuinely, I always liken playing her to when a little girl dresses up as their favorite princess. It's so exciting and it's so fun, because I genuinely love her. And, I realized I never really set out to be any sort of impressionist. I'm a sketch player, and I think I know how to do her because I watch her. I listen to her. I listen to her music. I go to her shows, and you just start picking up those things along the way, I think. And yeah, the fact that I could, walk into a place and they have the wig perfect was oh, I'll wear that. Thank you.
It's like a crown that was waiting for you to put it back on your head.
It was a dream come true, and anytime I get to play her, I love it. I hope she likes it, because it's nothing but a love letter.
Have you ever heard from her?
Only one. You know what? Once. I think we did the Prince show in front of her once, long time ago, when Beyonce and Prince used to do it with, when I did it with Fred. And she was like, no, it was good. So, I hope she knows how much I love her.
Was there one of your many now famous impressions that you said to the writers last week, I've got to do this again. I have to do it?
That was tough, because I realized how long it had been since I'd done those things. Yeah. And I didn't know if anybody remembered. I used to do Donatella Versace, and the kids were like, who, what now? And like we wrote a lot of things. Not everything made it. Like we tried an Oprah, and we wanted to make sure that Kamala was in there. But I mean, you know how that show works. It's like whatever gets finessed at the last second gets in, and even then, it's not ready. But it's time to go on, so we have no choice.
We're out of time.
We're out of time. We were out of time.
Tell me about playing the Vice President of the United States.
What
does it mean to you?
It's still not real to me. I watched a lot of people at the show playing the president or the vice president and all the political characters, and there really wasn't anybody that resembled me, and I wasn't really part of that, but it's such a legacy. And such a rite of passage, particularly at that show as well. But the impact that it has on our culture is insane. And I think once she was running, it was pretty clear. As I remember when Tina Fey got the call about Sarah Palin, she was like, yeah, I was kind of waiting for the call at that point because everyone was telling her, you should do this. And the same thing happened with Kamala. I was really feeling it, and I could just tell it was kind of in the ether.
It was in the wind.
Yeah. And then Lauren called, and I was like, I had a feeling you were going to call.
And you waited 1 or 0.1 seconds to say yes.
I don't even think I said yes. I think he knew. He knows that show is my drug. Like, you need me, I'm there. And I just figure it out. He knows how much I love it, and that I recognize that there is nothing else like it. There's truly nothing else like it anymore, that's for sure. I mean, that show takes place in a building where live TV was an actual event, but it doesn't happen anymore in that way. Other than you guys, I don't think there's anything else that's live in that way, and has that kind of variety and that scope in such a small space, like the old days.
It's like a family.
It is.
Everyone be united in one big effort.
Exactly.
Getting the show on the air.
It's such a great feeling.
Yeah.
But I feel an enormous, I just feel like it's an enormous honor to be able to play her. And I just really like her. And I think I just think the fact that we have her at all is so exciting. And it's such an unbelievable gift that I was given. Like, I can't believe how kind of perfectly it worked out. And I was even unsure that I thought I resembled her until I put the wig on. I was like, oh, right, we're good. we're good.
I was going to ask you, what does it take to nail Kamala?
It's the wig. It's a great blazer. And then I think just a little, she just, I started to get, maybe just a little bit of like the way she talks in the back of her throat. But what I notice about her is she's so smiley. She's got a lot of joy in her eyes. And I think over time I've started to play that, but she also just like doesn't play. If she needs to tell, especially during the last administration, when she needed to let people know that it wasn't okay, she'd let you know that it wasn't okay. And I love that. It's like, oh, what a relief.
So is that a 4-year commitment? You say yes to Lauren, like you're in?
Yeah. I mean, I also just like, what a luxury to get to do that. If they need me, I'm there. And I mean, they don't need me, and I feel like it's been nice and quiet lately in the White House. So great. You guys just go to work like you're supposed to do. Just do your thing. You don't have to, there's no drama. But yeah, if they need me, I'm there. I'm always there. And I just feel like it's an incredible honor to be a part of that. There's an actual legacy to people playing political characters on Saturday Night Live specifically. And to be a part of this insanely esteemed family tree is pretty nuts to me. Because I'm like, and then there's me? Okay.
Well, there was a time not too long ago where it would have been unthinkable.
Yeah.
You would have never said, oh, I'll probably play a president or vice president one day.
I honestly, like, when she was elected, I think I got a lot of congratulations, which was really crazy, but I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that good things, sometimes it's hard to believe that good things happen. Mm-hmm. It's really incredible that we have her in this position. I feel so lucky to be alive to witness this and for my kids to witness this.
Well, I have to ask, have you heard from her?
I got to meet her during the election. Amy Poehler and I got to sit on Zoom with her and with Hillary Clinton, and that was pretty cool.
That's a moment.
It was everything. It was everything. And of course, they were hilarious and fantastic and so skilled and great. But I just want everything to go back to normal so I can hug her. I just want to hug her.
Not shake her hand. Full on hug.
She definitely doesn't need a handshake from me. She's gonna get a large bear hug. I mean, I can't wait to meet her. I'm so in love with her, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited for her to be here now. It's really tremendous what we're witnessing.
Welcome to Today All Day.
All day?
Today, all day.
All day.
This is a long way of asking who's your favorite character you've ever played?
The unicorn. The unicorn. You gotta have the unicorn.
What is she right there? That's why you're saying all these nice things?
Yeah, she gave me the look. Sorry to disturb your day. Everyone's mad at you, Willie.
Better make this fast. I don't want the wrath of Luna.
When I see you, I always think, I wonder what his quote would be.
Give us 6 minutes and we'll ask as many questions as we can.
Welcome to Cold Cuts. Cold Cut. Cold Cut.
My buddy Cal cooking with me.
Dads don't babysit. It's called parenting.
What was the first book you remember loving?
Heart Smart Today, with simple exercises to strengthen your heart. Make the most of your beach days.
It's all about the tracksuit now. How good do they look?
I now pronounce you husband and wife. Kiss the bride.
This morning, a story of people helping people.
You've received tons of letters from people who have been inspired.
Let's do the weather out. Okay. All you gotta do is say, it's cold, it's warm, it's raining, it's snowing. That's it.
One of our most favorite franchises ever, Ambush Makeovers.
Okay.
Look at it. It doesn't look so good.
No, it doesn't look good.
Will you judge us in a cook-off?
I will, and you guys will definitely win something.
Today, all day.
All day?
All day.
Welcome to Today, all day.
Good morning. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright.
Half of all U.S. adults now fully vaccinated.
Al is in Cleveland for our Reopening America series.
This is the greatest location in the nation.
Music is back.
Y'all were exactly what we needed.
This is about 50 votes. If you can't get bipartisanship here, where are you going to get it? If China decided to cover this up, can we ever actually get a definitive answer? What happens if we don't act on police reform this year? If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
Make the most of your day with Today All Day. Get closer to all your friends at Today in a whole new way.
Today in 30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Shop today with Jill Martin.
We're helping you shop like never before.
The latest styles and biggest names. Today food.
Things are heating up in the Today All Day kitchen.
Cooking essentials and recipe inspiration.
Get ready. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm so ready.
Only on Today All Day. Make the most of your day with
Today in 30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Watch Today in 30 on your schedule, streaming every day on Today All Day.
It has been a long year.
Yeah, where it's been anything but normal.
Well, now there's hope. The COVID vaccines.
I know. It's been a little confusing.
Like really confusing.
So it's more important than ever to make a plan. Visit planyourvaccine.com
to find out where and when to get your vaccine.
What are you waiting for? Roll up your sleeves and plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
You have a new movie, Mitchells versus Machines. It's all about how technology has just taken over our lives.
Yes.
There's a scene in the movie where the family's sitting around the table and everyone's looking at their device.
Yeah.
Can you relate?
Yeah, although there's always been a no devices at the table clause in my house. Funny how those things get snuck in, even though they know the rule, though. But yeah, it's. I can't believe we've been saddled as parents with this. It's really hard to navigate. It's really hard, also, especially now, because my kids have been on Zoom, and if they want to see their friends, they have to FaceTime, and there's been so much good that's come from it. But it's really hard to manage as a parent, and we don't have a rule book for it. I also love in this movie that the family is a mess, that they really are kind of a funny little messy family filled with love and filled with their own set of differences and problems and confusion. And it's a nice, messy, sweet, loving family in the middle of saving the world.
Machines taking over.
Sure.
Which could happen. Your Roomba could come alive and get you.
I would not be surprised if my Roomba decided to, if I woke up in the middle of the night and it was just staring at me.
My Roomba's going on strike. Too much work. Too much dirt. I have toddlers.
You've been here.
Yeah, exactly. You've carved out this whole niche of voice acting.
Yeah.
What's the best thing about it besides, getting to wear sweatpants?
Well,
obviously.
Of course. But, I realized early on that I can be anything. That's really pretty incredible. Like when I started to look back on, I think really, I was a dog early on, but I think like looking back on Big Mouth, especially, she's a character that was just created. She's a monster, and she's big and she's hairy and gorgeous and like this kind of thing. And so the ability to really stretch to do anything is there. And that's really fun. I think, as an actress and as someone who never felt like I resembled anybody else other than the vice president, it's really, it's a strange business, and it's difficult to be unique or be who you are and maintain, I think, that authenticity in a world that really wants you to be something. They want you to define who you are. And I wasn't raised that way, and I don't really think of myself that way. I kind of just try to be who I am. So that can be really limited on camera. And there's no question that I see things changing, but I feel like it's people like me who have to write their own material or sort of say, oh, you will like this. This is good. Enjoy this because it's good, in order for people to kind of come around and see you for who you are. And in animation, it's literally anything. And I mean anything. I've been a lot of strange things.
You won not one, but 2 Emmys. So something's working. People are getting it.
I'm so glad. It's so nice. It was also during COVID, so I didn't have to get dressed up. It was really cool. But yeah, like, wow, it's really nice to be acknowledged. And I had never won anything before. It feels really good.
Winning's good?
Winning's really fun. It's really fun. I like it.
Make the most of your day with
Today in 30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show in a mere 30 minutes.
Watch Today in 30 on your schedule, streaming every day on Today All Day.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
Make the most of your day with Today All Day. Get closer to all your friends at Today in a whole new way.
Today in 30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Shop today with Jill Martin.
We're helping you shop like never before.
The latest styles and biggest names. Today Food.
Things are heating up in the Today All Day kitchen.
Cooking essentials and recipe inspiration.
Get ready. Are you ready? Oh, I'm so ready.
Only on Today All Day. For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast. Free wherever you get your podcasts.
I can't believe it's been 10 years since Bridesmaids.
I can't either.
Could you have ever guessed what a cultural moment that movie would be?
No. And as I said to you before, I'm always surprised when good things triumph, or, we were having so much fun when we made it, and we knew it was funny, but we were just enjoying it. And I think that fun was palpable. I think that was a big part of it. But I was also kind of coming from a place of like, I don't expect anything from this. We're not used to, we weren't planning for a blockbuster sort of takeover thing. But the fact that it's been 10 years is kind of crazy.
When did you know this is a hit? This is more than a hit.
People were speaking to me about the movie in a different way than I had ever experienced. And it was right away. And then I also knew that when the reviews were sort of prefaced with this idea of like, it's a female hangover, which we all found really ridiculous. I've even talked to Bradley Cooper about it. It's like
why do we have to put it in those terms to understand it?
Guys, there's plenty of movies. And you're talking to a bunch of really funny women who know they're funny and have no interest of being sequestered into anything. Like, that is so past the level we're all on. We're not even thinking about it that way because we don't think about ourselves in comedy that way. That's kind of what I was saying before. It's like, y'all will catch up. It's cool. But like, this is a funny movie. That's it.
We're not trying to be a female funny hangover.
There's
You're
no
not
such
derivative.
thing. I think if any of the women that are doing comedy went into it thinking, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to make people laugh because I'm a lady. It's like, I mean, other than like Rita Rudner, I don't know anyone who was that like ultra feminine. It's just about perception. And I also think I think we live in a time when journalists really like to write stories, it's just talk.
Yeah.
I think funny's funny. It's always been funny. And that was a great example of like a love-filled, fun-filled, great time caught on camera.
I love that. Just caught on camera. We just happened to be lucky enough to see it.
Yeah, it was just like, a documentary.
It was a nature doc.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've been asked this 1,000 times. Everybody wants another one.
I know.
But I think the director said no.
I know. Listen, if they want to do it, they know I told you, anybody that knows me well, if they want me to, I'm like, I'll be there.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, whatever you want. But I think it's okay too. Yeah. And it kind of makes it sort of like a one time, like one and done, like it's a little bit of a mic drop.
There's a certain cachet. Yeah, it is a mic drop.
I know. It would be kind of funny though if we did it when we're all super old.
I'm here for that.
I'm here for that. I would revisit that. That would be called Da Old Folks Home.
I was going to ask you, how would it be? What would the 2021 version be of it?
I don't know. Well, we'd have to get real old, so we're going to wait a little while. I've still got a bounce in my step, so maybe give it a good 40 more years.
Good. Then I'll interview you then.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll be old too. We'll be the same age.
I'd like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would be.
Welcome to Today Food on Today All Day. So when life hands you lemons, you know what they say? Make limoncello. Today on an all-new saucy, Anthony Contrino showing us how to make the boozy Italian spirit plus 2 lemony sweet treats that will want to make you pucker up.
Everyone loves a sweet treat every now and then, and I have 3 that are stunning, delicious, and use one of my favorite ingredients in the entire world, Sorrento lemons. First up, a traditional Italian liqueur, limoncello. Then, my lemon curd tartlets. Finally, my favorite, a lemon and olive oil bundt cake with limoncello glaze. So grab a lemon and pucker up. It's not every day that produce from Italy comes in, but when my local Italian market gets the first batch of Sorrento lemons, I am like a kid on Christmas morning. Aside from the obvious difference in size, this lemon has a more bumpy skin, which contains more oils. So if you're using its zest or steeping it for something like limoncello, you're gonna get that much more flavor. Let's start making our limoncello. The first thing we need to do is peel these beautiful lemons. Grab your favorite peeler and just start peeling strips of the skin. Take your time. We don't want to leave any of the skin behind. We don't want to waste any of that flavorful skin. I wish you can smell how fragrant this is. It's amazing. Has a more sweet aroma than your traditional store-bought lemon. I'm making a huge batch of limoncello, so we're gonna need 8 of these lemons. If you're using regular organic lemons, you're going to need at least 12 of them. My hands are gonna smell so good by the time I'm done with this. My carpal tunnel, however, not so much. Last one. Awesome. Look how beautiful all these peels are. The next step is to peel off any excess pith. So I'm gonna go through all of these and make sure that there's nothing that has more pith than what I'm seeing on this lemon. Now for the fun part. Grab yourself a fairly large glass jar, at least 56 ounces if possible, and simply add your hard work right into the jar. All of these gorgeous Sorrento lemon peels. And now for another very important ingredient, high proof grain alcohol. This stuff is strong. It is extremely flammable. It's 190 proof. You cannot drink this as is. It will literally burn your insides. But it's that power that is going to help pull all the flavor, all of the oils out of these lemon peels. Madonna. Whew. Do not drink it. And I'm gonna add the whole 1 liter bottle right to our jar. Perfect. Now all that's left to do is wait. For me, it's more of a visual cue. I want the lemon peels to be pale, which means that all of the flavor, all of these oils have been sucked out of the peels. So around 1 to 2 weeks is probably best. Thankfully, I have a little trick up my sleeve. If you've been watching, you'd notice that we had this hiding in the corner the last few weeks, steeping just for today. And you can see the obvious difference. This is a deep golden yellow color. Isn't it beautiful? We have everything we need. I made some simple syrup earlier that we're going to add to our strained limoncello. Oh, did you hear that pop? Smells a little bit like cleaning supplies right now. Don't worry about that. We'll take care of it. Get yourself an even bigger glass jar. Just going to place a strainer on top of our newer jar and carefully, to hopefully not lose any of this liquid gold, pour it. I didn't think this part through, did I? All right, we're just gonna go for it. Oh my God, how cool is that? That was easier than I thought it was gonna be. Now we're gonna pour our simple syrup right in. Look at how the color changes. It's this beautiful, sunshiny yellow color. At this point, it's almost done, but it's still way too strong to drink. So we have one last ingredient to add. Some cold water. This recipe makes a lot, so I hope you have a lot of friends. Just give it a little bit of a stir. Then it's just time to start bottling. Funnel will make this process a lot easier. Perfect. Just seal them up as you finish bottling though. Is that beautiful? I'd be very happy if someone brought me one of these bottles of limoncello. You can find these glass bottles at some craft stores, but I normally find them at a store that sells containers. A little bit left, which I'll jar later, but that's for me. Gorgeous. I'm going to let these cure in the freezer for a week. The good news is they could live in there for a year, just in time for the next Sorrento lemon season.
Well, hello. Are you ready to whip up Anthony's delectable dish? Just text food to 34318 and we will send that recipe right to your phone.
Make the most of your day with
Today in 30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show in a mere 30 minutes.
Savannah and Hoda bring you what you must know. The biggest moments of the morning.
One Republic!
Exclusive interviews.
Why did it work for you?
You're right. I am more talented than the rest.
And important headlines.
Major medical news this morning.
Watch Today in 30 on your schedule. Streaming every day on Today All Day. For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
Our Across America journey here in Louisville, Kentucky. Cleveland, reporting on an America rebuilding after the pandemic. How narrow a window do you have to really get kids back where we would want them to be?
NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt. Make the most of your day with
Today in 30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show in a mere 30 minutes.
Savannah and Hoda bring you what you must know. The biggest moments of the morning.
One Republic!
Exclusive interviews.
Why did it work for you?
You're right. I am more talented than the rest.
And important headlines.
Major medical news this morning.
Watch Today in 30 on your schedule. Streaming every day on Today All Day. For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
When I was interning in southern France, I learned how to make the best lemon curd I've ever had in my life. And thankfully, Chef Laurent was kind enough to share the recipe with me, and this is my version of it. The first thing we need to do is prepare our butter. This is one of those times when we want very cold butter. We don't want it room temperature. And I'm just gonna cut it into cubes. About a 1/2 inch cube would be perfect. Using 2 sticks, a full ½ pound of butter for this recipe. Definitely one of the reasons why this is so delicious. Set that aside. Let's start our curd. Now, I'm not one for really weird quantities in baking or cooking in general, but this recipe is so perfect that it does call for a weird amount of lemon juice. Exactly a ½ cup plus 4 teaspoons. It has to be that quantity, trust me. Don't round up, don't round down. Some sugar, 3/4 of a cup, ½ a teaspoon of salt, and then some eggs. Three whole eggs and 1 yolk. This extra yolk is going to add a bit more decadence and richness. Okay, I'm gonna put this over medium heat. We don't wanna put it on top of an aggressive heat because we don't want scrambled eggs. Grab a whisk, start combining all of these ingredients. You wanna keep whisking over the medium heat until it starts to steam and you'll feel this mixture getting thick. Starting to see my first wisps of steam. And it's done, just like that. Immediately off the heat, grab a spatula and through a fine mesh strainer into a food processor. Scrape it all down. Get every last bit of this curd in there. And then kind of in a back and forth stirry motion, start pushing your curd through the strainer. Put on your lid the right way. Turn your machine on. And then we're gonna start adding our butter, a cube at a time. And it looks great to me. I'm gonna transfer this to a bowl. Look how silky, how smooth, and how beautiful it is. And it is delicious too, I promise. I can guarantee you that this lemon curd is life-changing. Into the fridge for 4 hours or overnight until it's nice and thick. Thankfully, I have one all ready to go. Here I have some phyllo dough shells that you can find in the frozen section of your grocery store. We're gonna fill them with this delicious curd. Let me show you how to set up a piping bag. Fold down the top, then you wanna choose a tip. I'm going with a medium small round tip. Cut a hole for your tip and slide it in. Right side up, preferably. Then just push it forward and then pull to stretch out the plastic just a little bit. That'll lock it in place. And then simply just add this beautiful curd right into your bag. That'll be plenty for these tartlets. I'm gonna fill these with a slightly heaping mound of the curd, just like that. This smooth curd against this crispy phyllo shell is the perfect combination of textures. I'm gonna finish these off with a couple of things. First, a fresh raspberry for a little bit of color and just a sweet little pop of extra flavor. These are looking amazing already, but I have one more special touch to add to them. a little powdered sugar. It's pretty and adds just a kiss of extra sweetness. Just give it little gentle taps. A little bit of early morning snow. Aren't these just so adorable? They're delicious too, and I know my neighbors are gonna love them. So I'm gonna be a good boy, and I'm not going to touch them. No one said anything about the leftover curd though.
Our week-long journey begins here in Orlando, Louisville, Kentucky, Cleveland. Our Across America journey reporting on an America rebuilding and reimagining a future after the pandemic. Breaking news tonight, the ceasefire in the Middle East after 11 days of deadly violence. Richard Engel is on the ground. Do you think there's a connection between policing and racism? How narrow a window do you have to really get kids back where we would want them to be?
NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt.
I'm rolling up my sleeves for science, so I'll survive if I contract this virus. For family dinners, family vacations, family anything. For traveling somewhere beyond my living room. And for the Rebels, there is no greater feeling than being in the stadium and cheering on Ole Miss. And now it's your turn. Roll up your sleeves, America. Plan your vaccine, because every shot counts. Visit planyourvaccine.com and make your plan.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app. Make the most of your day with
Today in 30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show in a mere 30 minutes.
Savannah and Hoda bring you what you must know. The biggest moments of the morning.
One Republic!
Exclusive interviews.
Why did it work for you?
You're right. I am more talented than the rest.
And important headlines.
Major medical news this morning.
Watch Today in 30 on your schedule. Streaming every day on Today All Day.
Hi, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright.
Half of all U.S. adults now fully vaccinated.
Al is in Cleveland for our Reopening America series.
This is the greatest location in the nation.
Music is back.
Y'all were exactly what we needed.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
This is one of the moistest cakes you will ever have. Honestly, I would have a slice of this simple and elegant bundt cake over a layer cake any day of the week. You always want to start with your dry ingredients. 2.5 cups of flour, right into your bowl. Okay. Then we need some salt. You always need salt when baking. It helps bring out all the flavors of everything else that is in your batter. 1 teaspoon of that. I'm using 2 different leaveners, baking powder and baking soda. So just a 1/2 teaspoon of the baking soda, and then 1.5 teaspoons of our baking powder. Okay. I'm whisking this really well to evenly distribute all of the leaveners. Perfect. Set this aside. And let's get started on our wet ingredients. First up, a stick of European or European-style butter right into the bowl of a stand mixer. Then some sugar. 1 3/4 cup of sugar. Just add that right on in. May sound like a lot, but this is not an overly sweet cake. The olive oil component of our cake, make sure you're using a floral olive oil. This is definitely not the time for a peppery olive oil. This is dessert. 1/4 cup of this liquid gold. It smells so good. Just gonna go right on in, get all of those last little drips. And some lemon zest. Using a Sorrento lemon here, so 1/2 of the zest of this lemon will be more than enough. Paddle attachment. And we want to beat this until it's super pale and nice and fluffy. You can see it lightening in color already. We can start adding our eggs. 3 large eggs. Scrape it down again. Make sure there are no bits of egg that were missed. At this point, we're also going to add a little bit of vanilla. I feel like every baked good needs just a little bit of vanilla. 1 teaspoon. We have our dry ready. We just need to finish our wet. I have a 1/4 cup of that delicious lemon juice from our Sorrento lemons. And to that, I'm going to add 3/4 cup of buttermilk. Just give it a little bit of a swirl to incorporate. And now, let's finish it up. Start by adding half of your dry and slowly on low so it doesn't fly out at you. Let it go, and as soon as it's almost fully incorporated, start drizzling in your buttermilk mixture. All that's left is our remaining dry ingredients. Once again, incorporate on low speed. And you want to stop the machine as soon as it looks like it's almost all incorporated. Right there. I'll finish the rest by hand. You never want to overmix a cake batter. It'll get really tough. I want to lick this, but I'm not. Just going to make sure that any bits of flour are fully incorporated at this point. This looks great. Let's get into our pan. It's a nice, thick, luxurious batter. You can see some of those specks of the lemon zest in here. It's going to be so delicious. Just gently start smoothing it. If you made a mess like I did, just carefully clean it up without ruining too much of your greased pan. One last thing that I like to do before I put it in the oven, a few taps on the countertop just to knock out any large air bubbles that may be in there. You want to bake this for 45 minutes at 350 degrees until a cake tester comes out clean when inserted in the center.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app. Make the most of your day with Today All Day. Get closer to all your friends at Today in a whole new way.
Today in 30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show in a mere 30 minutes.
Shop today with Jill Martin.
We're helping you shop like never before.
The latest styles and biggest names. Today food.
Things are heating up in the Today All Day kitchen.
Cooking essentials and recipe inspiration.
Get ready. Are you ready? Oh, I'm so ready.
Only on Today All Day. For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
Our Across America journey here in Louisville, Kentucky, Cleveland, reporting on an America rebuilding after the pandemic. How narrow a window do you have to really get kids back where we would want them to be?
NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt. For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
Is this cake not stunning? You want to allow your cake to cool completely till it's cold to the touch, basically, at least room temperature, or your glaze will not set. So let's get started on it. 1.5 cups of confectioner's sugar. I'm putting it right into a fine mesh strainer because we want to sift out any lumps. We want a nice, smooth glaze. Then using a spoon or spatula, whatever you have, just start working it through the strainer. There you go. To this, we're gonna add just a few more ingredients. Some melted butter, 4 tablespoons, and then 2 tablespoons each of whole milk, and of course, our limoncello. Keep the milk on standby just in case you need to thin out your glaze. Just whisk, slowly pulling in all the sugar from the sides of the bowl. Oh no. I'm a mess. This glaze should be fairly thick, but still runny enough to drizzle down the side of our bundt cake. Okay, you want to use this quickly. Grab a spoon. Then work your way around your cake, allowing it to drizzle down the sides into the center and across the top. And there you have it, our beautiful lemon olive oil bundt cake with limoncello glaze. All of these lemony treats make a perfect gift, and I'm going to show you some fun ways that I like to package them when giving them to friends and neighbors. Let's start with our bundt cake. I'm going to carefully transfer it, looking for some naked cake space, right into the center of our charger. Don't forget about our gorgeous lemon curd tartlets. These could be a little tricky to transport, but I discovered a trick. I bought this cute little shallow tin at a craft store, and I'm gonna put in just a small layering of sprinkles. That's gonna help keep them in place. And of course, they match our little tartlets. Just kind of nestle them in. Don't overcrowd, but look how cute this looks. A lot of people are going to be begging me for this limoncello. Have a solution for that too. Have this cute lemon rubber stamp and some yellow ink. Just give it a little pat, and then with just any fine tip marker, grab some twine, string it through your little tag, and we'll tie it to the sides of our bottle. Aren't these so cute? And there you have it, 3 delicious and adorable gifts that I know my friends and family are just going to love. They also happen to make an excellent bribe.
With her shaved head and haunting version of Nothing Compares to You, Sinead O'Connor shot to fame in 1990 with a massive #1 hit. 1 year later, she grabbed the Grammy for Best Alternative Music Album, even though she boycotted the awards that year. But it was her shocking move on Saturday Night Live in 1992, after singing Bob Marley's War, when Sinead tore up a photo of Pope John Paul II and instantaneously destroyed her career. The perception was that that Pope moment on SNL 92 sort of derailed your career, whereas your take on it, which I thought was interesting, was that's quite the opposite. It was at that moment that you felt like you were re-railing your career. What did you mean by that?
Sinead O'Connor was never meant to be a pop star. It was really a protest singer, you know?
She says it wasn't a stunt. It was a statement against child abuse, a decade before the sex abuse scandal in the Catholic Church exploded. The Vatican had no comment. Catholic leaders said her actions deeply wounded people.
10 years after the Pope ripping episode, you all then found out in America that this was going on. We always say Americans, they think nothing happened till they found out about it.
Nearly 2 weeks after SNL, Sinead was famously booed off the stage at a Bob Dylan tribute concert. You sort of shouted war over the audience.
I think I got halfway through before I almost barfed because I was screaming so loud.
Do you think you were the first one sort of canceled?
That's a good question. I never thought of that. Probably the first one that everybody was like, okay, that is not having a career now.
Yeah, I mean, they were steamrolling your records like within 24 hours. They were literally with bulldozers.
Until she apologizes, we've got to say, do not buy a material.
She says ripping up the photo of the Pope was a blessing. So that was an awakening, that moment when you ripped the Pope up. You were like, oh my gosh. That was you almost finding yourself again.
It was a blessing because I had to make my living doing the thing I love doing, which is making music live.
Sinead says it wasn't just about abuse in the church. The photo of the Pope belonged to Sinead's mother, who abused her for years. Was there something symbolic about that actual picture of the Pope that you tore?
That picture I took off my mother's bedroom wall, it was a way of ripping her up as well, I guess. Ripping up my mother, you know.
In her new memoir, Rememberings, Sinead reveals chilling details about the abuse and decades of mental health struggles that followed, some playing out very publicly on social media.
There's no way for people to be living.
After seeking treatment and rehab, today, Sinead seems to be in a much better place, living in a peaceful thatched roof house in a remote area outside of Dublin. As you and I sit here right now, I mean, how do you feel? How are you?
No, I'm good, yeah. I've been really good since I moved into this place about a year ago. Yeah, it's real peaceful. Somebody told me that you have anxiety.
It's true. I am riddled with it.
You know what it's like? It's terrible. I suffer from a condition called complex post-traumatic stress disorder from things that I went through growing up.
She also describes in her book being inspired by Muhammad Ali, frightened by Prince, and misunderstood by old Blue Eyes.
What happened was poor Frank Sinatra had been told that, you know, there's this cheeky Irish singer and she hates America. He said something about she should have her ass kicked. And the trouble was I was staying in the same hotel as him.
Oh my gosh.
And I was thinking, oh my God, my father is going to kill me if I kick the crap out of Frank Sinatra. I love Frank Sinatra, obviously. What's not to love? He's amazing.
Right. Next year, she'll tour a new album being released this fall.
I'm concerned that perhaps I've aged a little too much to be touring, you know, it's a young person's game.
No, you're not too old for it. You can do it. I got 2 words for you. Willie Nelson.
Yeah, but, you know, I don't know, he didn't have a radical hysterectomy. My soul and spirit are 17 and are certain of it, but my body thinks it's 70.
How does that make you feel to see and feel the love of large crowds these days?
It's lovely, it's lovely. I like particularly when there are men crying, then I know I did a good job.
The tour was canceled, the whole world shut off, and it was definitely different. But for us, we were very fortunate.
It's been a year unlike any other for Celine Dion. After the pandemic forced the shutdown of her world tour, it was back to basics for the singing superstar.
It was the old-fashioned family fun, simple pleasures of life, playing outside a lot, being with them, cuddling at night, cooking, honestly making the best out of this.
During her time off, Celine also had moments of reflection. This past January marking 5 years since the passing of her husband, Renee and Jaleel.
This is the first time you've really had that much of a break since you lost Renee.
Losing my husband, for my kids to lose their father, it was quite something. I feel like Renee has given me so much through the years, and still today, I see my kids, I look at them and I still see, we live with him. we still live with him. He's part of our lives every day. So I have to say that I feel very, very strong.
Is there a chance in your life that you see your heart opening up again to love? Do you want to find someone else?
That one, that heart
will go on.
Oh yes, it will go on. Well, I don't know. I have no idea. But right this second, love is so big right now in my life, with my kids, with life itself. I'm not thinking about a relationship and falling in love again. I don't. Do I have to say that it will never happen anymore? No, I don't know. I don't know.
Now, Celine says she's pouring her heart into a new residency at Resorts World Las Vegas, the Strip's newest hotel, a change from the Caesars Palace stage she practically owned for 16 years. Her headlining performance will also usher in new blood. Carrie Underwood, Katy Perry, and Luke Bryan making their Vegas residency debuts.
What advice can you give them to help break them in?
They're very professional performers. I don't have any advice to give them, obviously. But the only thing I can say to all of them is that have fun, and I can't wait to be entertained myself.
What is it about Vegas that had become home for you?
Vegas had given us, my family and I, an opportunity for me to be a mom, for them to be kids, for me to perform for my fans and to practice my passion, and every night come home. That is rare. So I really feel that Vegas has given me a motherhood and the best as an artist, the best of both worlds.
She says the new show, set to open in November, will carry a heavier emotional weight.
It's going to be about an energy, about starting again, about living again, about feeling that something will come out of this, hopefully.
Hi, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright.
Are you ready? Half of all U.S. adults now fully vaccinated.
A huge lift is underway for one of the most celebrated cities in this country, Cleveland, Ohio.
This is the greatest location in the nation.
We're having a baby.
Wow.
The big reveal is under the lid.
Hey now.
Things are looking brighter, so we want to help you find the fun in 21.
Music is back. Y'all were exactly what we needed.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright.
Are you ready? Half of all U.S. adults now fully vaccinated.
A huge lift is underway for one of the most celebrated cities in this country, Cleveland, Ohio.
This is the greatest location in the nation.
We're having a baby.
Wow.
The big reveal is under the lid.
Hey now.
Things are looking brighter, so we want to help you find the fun in 21.
Music is back. Y'all were exactly what we needed.
This is about 50 votes. If you can't get bipartisanship here, where are you going to get it? If China decided to cover this up, can we ever actually get a definitive answer? What happens if we don't act on police reform this year? If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press. The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
Country superstar who happens to be our good friend. His name is Blake Shelton.
Oh, we love him.
Blake's a busy man. He's out with his 12th studio album today. It's Body Language, and of course, he's a coach on The Voice.
Hi, Blake. Good morning.
Good morning.
How's it going? Man, I got to say this. Right off the bat.
Say it.
I was sitting here watching, and I was thinking, man, from a distance, Carson is looking young, thin. I mean, like, wow, he looks good. I realize it's the new guy, Tom. I got to text Carson, man. He looks so great this morning. So he doesn't look good.
Who's going to tell him?
Yeah.
It's not Carson.
No.
Blake, we miss you.
Yeah,
we really, it's so fun to have you here, but just not being here and Hoda and I being able to awkwardly flirt with you like we normally do.
Oh, well.
It's not the same.
It's not the same, and in this Brady Bunch thing that we got going on right here it's kind of creating a though, like it's not just a love triangle anymore. It's like
Well, Chanel's going to get
I'm just coming along for the date. Just for today.
Chanel's going to get in on it. Okay, so speaking of love, let's talk about your future bride. I was reading all over the internet this morning, Blake, that y'all have picked the song that you want to dance to, your first dance. If you leave, what are you talking about, dude?
You know, I'm going to learn my lesson one of these days. First of all, I said that when I was on Jimmy Fallon's show, and people out there should know I've never given an answer to any question in my life from Jimmy Fallon that wasn't complete bull crap.
Oh, that's funny.
I mean, why would I be honest with Jimmy Fallon? Let's be honest.
So be honest with us. Okay, so what is your first song going to be, the first dance?
I don't know. Well, to be honest, I do love that song. I love that song. Maybe I can talk her into it. Now
It would be fun.
This. We both love the 80s, you know, soft rock stuff. We're both, you know, that's kind of one of the things that when we started getting to know each other, one of the things that we were shocked about each other is like, wait a minute. I think she was more shocked that I was into it, you know. She was like, wait a minute, what? I thought you listened to like banjos and crickets.
What about like Come On Eileen?
Right.
If we're going 80s.
There you go. And here's the thing, everybody just loves you guys. I was just hearing Shania Twain on her podcast saying, you know, your wedding is the hottest ticket in town. Everyone wants to be there.
Come on, that is ridiculous. I mean, nobody likes to go to weddings. That's not true. Weddings are. Maybe I'm just speaking from a dude point of view, but you know, unless it's your wedding, you don't really want to go to it, right?
What? No, we want to go. We want to go to your wedding. Yeah. Hint, hint. So Blake, let's talk about the other big news in your life, which we really should have started with, but we just couldn't believe that about that OMD song. We had to ask about that. Your album.
Yes.
Can you tell us about your new album?
Yeah, I'm so excited about it. You know, I've been kind of pushing back on the idea of releasing an album for a couple of years, and finally my record company just said, "Hey, you know, we're a record company, so we could use a record from you one of these days." And so we finally, I've been recording for like 3 years and just trying to, you know, and releasing music along the way, singles, and we put out a hits package and just realized, man, it's time to put together an album. You know, fans like to dig through them and find the album cuts that they love. And so we're excited, but really proud of it. I don't know that I've ever worked longer on an album than this one. And I just feel like it's an album full of potential singles. That's kind of how I just approached this because I wasn't even sure we were doing an album. So everything on this was things that I thought, man, we could release this as a single to radio now and just go with it. So looking at it from that standpoint, I'm just super proud of the whole project.
And what's the single that you and Gwen are singing together on?
It's Happy Anywhere.
We love that song.
The other song was Nobody But You. That was on the hits package. But Happy Anywhere is was actually the first single off of this album. And then we came with Minimum Wage, and now here's the album is out there. So we had a blast making that video. That's when we were in quarantine in Oklahoma, and her brother knew how to work the camera. So we were literally out in the cornfield and stuff at the ranch, and we just used a bunch of old home movie footage. And luckily, she films everything we ever do.
So do you like that?
When it's happening, no. But when we need a music video out of nowhere,
there you go.
Awesome.
Yeah, it worked. Let me ask you this, Blake, because we're going to actually get to hear a couple performances pretty soon, including Happy Anywhere. But it makes me laugh because, you know, the whole, like, theory of country music singers, aren't you supposed to be, like, broken down and depressed and, you know, your dog ran away and all that? And you're so happy. You guys are, like, you know, everything's working.
Yeah, maybe that's why my career is starting to flop a little bit. I got to sadden things up a little bit. You're right. I'm supposed to, you know, back over my dog and have a broken heart, I guess. But things are going too good right now, and I can't help but be honest about it.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app. Make the most of your day with Today All Day. Get closer to all your friends at Today in a whole new way.
Today in
30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
That's good.
Shop today with Jill Martin.
We're helping you shop like never before.
The latest styles and biggest names. Today Food.
Things are heating up in the Today All Day kitchen.
Cooking essentials and recipe inspiration.
Get ready. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm so ready.
Only on Today All Day.
It has been a long year.
Yeah, where it's been anything but normal.
Well, now there's hope. The COVID vaccines.
I know. It's been a little confusing.
Like really confusing. So it's more important than ever to make a plan. Visit planyourvaccine.com
to find out where and when to get your vaccine.
What are you waiting for? Roll up your sleeves and plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
I'm rolling up my sleeves for science, so I'll survive if I can track this virus. For family dinners, family vacations, family anything. For traveling somewhere beyond my living room. And for the Rebels, there is no greater feeling than being in the stadium and cheering on Ole Miss. And now it's your turn. Roll up your sleeves, America. Plan your vaccine, because every shot counts. Visit planyourvaccine.com and make your plan.
The Meet the Press Chuck Todd Cast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
Hi, Alanis.
Hi, Alanis.
Hi, everybody.
It was so fun to talk. I think I talked to you last year on the 25th anniversary of Jagged Little Pill, and there were these plans to go take it out on the road, take your show on the road, and now it's happening.
Yeah.
Are you fired up to get out of the house?
Fired up, and I think when we all see each other again at rehearsals, we may just melt into a big puddle together, weeping for our reunion. We're all dying to see each other.
Well, you know what's funny? I was just looking at you when we saw your picture pop up, and I was like, that's Alanis Morissette. You look beautiful, by the way. How long have you been blonde? I missed that chapter.
Oh, I don't even know. I'm postpartum, so I think it's been a couple of months. I have no idea. I think everyone played with their hair during the pandemic time because we were all slightly insular.
Yeah. How was your pandemic time, by the way?
A bit of a roller coaster. I think I'm not alone on that one. I just missed everybody really, really hard, and I was very sad to miss out on the touch and the hugs. To be totally honest,
Alanis, I was so lucky to have a front row seat into your meteoric rise going back 25 years. My buddy Guy Osieri at Maverick, I believe, signed you. I might have been your very first United States radio interview in San Jose.
Wow.
You were 20 in 1995. Glenn Ballard, I think, said something profound to you back 25 years ago when you guys collaborated on the record. What did you expect Jagged Little Pill to do?
They were all very excited at the thought, and I was too. I was a little blown away at the idea that we would potentially sell 100,000 copies of the record. And when they told me that number, I just remember thinking, wow, that's overwhelming, So I had no idea what was to come.
Alanis, you may have been Carson's first interview, but I came to know you through an obscure sketch comedy show back in the early 80s. You can't do that on television. You introduced me, and I think millions of others, to Slime and Nickelodeon. And there you are on the right. Have you given any serious consideration to a return to comedy?
Yes, we were filming. I have to scratch that itch once in a while. There was a period of time where everyone said, stay in your lane, just stay in rock and roll. And I said, it's for the multitudinous creatures, those of us who are artists who like the different forms of art. We're going to dip our toe in all of them all the time. So now this era is really exciting because it's a big invitation for people to use multiple talents, and there's less of a pressure to stay in one lane. Thank God.
What are you most excited to sing on stage again from these songs that you've sung a million times, but now with the passage of time and recognizing how iconic they are to people? Is there one in particular you're like, oh, I cannot wait to be in front of the crowd and let it rip?
I mean, all of them, to be honest. I love the gratitude singing thank you at the end of it. But from Jagged Little Pill, the only song that I actually can't, it sort of has to be updated in a way, is Not the Doctor. Everything else I can stand by, which is convenient, but Not the Doctor really shows where I was at the time, which is I'm dating you and I don't really want to get into your business. And stay church and state, you stay over there. And now that I've been married 11 years, I realize that I want to actively participate in my husband's healing.
It could change it to I am the doctor, specifically the therapist.
Alanis, we love your collaboration with Willie Nelson. I mean, that one just comes together. How did you guys team up?
I've known Willie for a while. I have the privilege and honor to have known him for a while. And when I was really young, I lived in Europe, in Germany. I grew up there for a few years. And my parents would play that song all the time because we would do road trips constantly. So when I kept thinking about our return and our reunion and our tour being reinvigorated, I kept singing that song to myself. And I just thought, I'll just record it. And then I said, well, why not just ask Willie to join me? So it all unfolded very organically. And for him and his family.
That's so fun. It's a great song. Welcome back. And our friends, although they're more like family, Little Big Town, have been making music together for more than 2 decades, racking up #1 hits and Grammys all along the way.
Karen, Kimberly, Philip, and Jimmy, they're with us live from Nashville. Hey, guys, we were just looking back at our old home movies in Orlando. Remember? That was one of our favorite concerts. It also happened to be our last concert. So we were just checking in. Like, how have y'all been, Karen, since lockdown?
Oh gosh, we've been good, hanging in there and just dying to get back on the road, and it's finally happening. So we're incredibly thrilled, and to be back with you guys. That was the last hurrah we had.
We love it, Kimberly. So tell us about the new tour. What are you planning to do?
Well, just after we were with y'all at Universal, we had maybe 4 more shows, and then we had to call it quits like everybody else did. So we're picking up where we left off. We saw y'all at Carnegie Hall up in New York City, but we're picking up where we left off, and we're gonna hop back on the road and, go to all those cities that we didn't get to go to last year. We're so excited. We cannot wait to get back out there.
How do you guys juggle, you're picking up where you left off with the Nightfall Tour, and then I hear you have new music. So how Jimmy, has it been, creating new music, and what does the new music sound like? Give us just a little hint.
Oh man, we were in the studio till late last night and just having a blast. I'm excited about the new stuff. There's some really great songs that I think speak to kind of whatever everybody's been going through and coming out of, and we wanted to bring some light and some fun, and so that's kind of the way it's feeling right now. We're super excited about
You sticking with that alcohol theme, hopefully?
There's always going to be some of that.
Very good.
You know what, Philip? Philip, speaking of that, I mean, my favorite Little Big Town song, and there are a lot, but wine, beer, whiskey, like it's the perfect party anthem. It's been streamed 150 million times. What's the story behind the song?
Well,
to be honest, we were writing a really serious song that day, and then as we took a break from that, we said, I think I was the one that said, hey, let's have a drink. Look, we got wine, we got beer, we got whiskey, and we tried to get them all in there. So we wrote the song in like 30 minutes, it seemed like.
Well, it's a little embarrassing, guys, when our kids start singing it. Cal was singing it. Haley sings it. We had a lot of explaining to do.
They don't sing Coke and Sprite and lemonade.
No.
We saw your little boy dancing to it on Instagram.
And that was like the 4th time he did it that I finally captured it on video. He was all night. I mean, there were somersaults involved and everything. So he loves it. Can I just ask you guys, what's the secret sauce? I mean, 2 decades together. How do you guys keep coming out with hit after hit that we are all singing along to?
I think we're just always looking to be inspired and looking. Oh my goodness!
Look at y'all back in the day.
Our hair is way better now than it wasn't. Always looking just like to do the next thing, and we never feel like we're finished. I don't know. I think also the chemistry between the 4 of us is really special, and we take care of each other and take care of our families, and our life on the road together, raising children is important, and connecting with our fans is really important, and lifting them up, and so I think that's what still is moving us along. What's next? That's what we're always thinking.
And Karen, every concert we've been to, we've seen your kids are all there, front row, every single time. Yeah,
you guys are in harmony.
Yeah.
This is about 50 votes. If you can't get bipartisanship here, where are you going to get it? If China decided to cover this up, can we ever actually get a definitive answer? What happens if we don't act on police reform this year? If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press. The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts. This is about 50 votes. If you can't get bipartisanship here, where are you going to get it? If China decided to cover this up, can we ever actually get a definitive answer? What happens if we don't act on police reform this year? If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
Make the most of your day with
Today in
30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Watch Today in 30 on your schedule, streaming every day on Today All Day.
Our Across America journey here in Louisville, Kentucky. Cleveland, reporting on an America rebuilding after the pandemic. How narrow a window do you have to really get kids back where we would want them to be?
NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt. For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
I think the thing that's so interesting is that all the big moves that have happened, I didn't really plan. They just kind of worked out.
Adam Lambert is a Grammy-nominated pop rock icon with an incredible vocal range and larger-than-life stage presence. He first rose to fame on season 8 of American Idol. But growing up, he was always in the spotlight.
I was a theater kid. My parents are very supportive. They've always known that I was a bit different, and they really encouraged it and cultivated it. And so they put me in a children's theater group when I was about 7 or 8, and I loved it. It very quickly became clear to me that that's what I'm meant to do.
From an early age, Adam says he always knew he was gay and didn't shy away from it.
Was there somebody who sort of helped pave the path for you?
I felt safe at home, which I think that was a big deal for me. I had some teachers that kind of, I think without actually saying it, sort of created a safe space for me, and that really allowed me to sort of find the comfort in my own skin to be able to come out and say, this is who I am.
Adam came out to his family and friends early on, but after his run on American Idol, he came out publicly to the world.
Did it change anything for you within the music industry?
I was open and out with all the people that I was working with. It wasn't a secret. I think it actually made things a bit easier at that point. I was very clear on the idea that, like, there's no way I'm gonna hide this. And also for the people that I had seen and I watched, you know, hide their sexuality, I always thought to myself, man, that must be stressful.
For Adam, being true to himself made all the difference, and his career took off, releasing 4 solo albums and joining forces on tour with legendary rock band Queen.
And when you step into those iconic golden platform shoes that you're wearing, stepping into that role almost as Freddie Mercury did, what is that like for you to get on that stage?
I've been with them now for about 9 years, and it's crazy because it's been an evolution for me. The first time we went out together, and I was just getting my feet wet at that point, and I was pulling it off, but I don't think I felt totally at home there yet. But over the next tour, I think I started growing into it more, and I feel now when I get on stage that I can really just be myself 100%.
Being 100% himself has driven him to help others like him do the same. To aid in the fight for equality, he launched the Feel Something Foundation in 2019 that supports LGBTQ organizations.
I think anybody that's in the community and our allies need to look deep within themselves with some empathy and put yourself in that person's shoes and realize this person was born this way, that's who they are, and to hold someone back and punish somebody and discriminate against somebody, that's evil, it's terrible.
And this weekend, he's preparing to headline his first in-person concert since before the pandemic, a 3-day festival in Los Angeles featuring a lineup of queer artists, musicians, and speakers.
I think things are getting back to normal slowly but surely, and it's time to remember that we're part of a community and to support each other. It's not just one thing. It's not just gay men, gay women. We have a big rainbow that we need to honor. It's a time to kind of be part of that rainbow.
I'm
Abby, and I'm the stepmom.
And I'm Maria. I'm the kids' biological mother and Abby's husband's ex-wife.
Abby Reverts and Maria Anderson had a rocky start. Maria and her ex-husband Stephen have 2 kids together. After the couple divorced in 2013, they both got remarried, but sharing custody of the kids was complicated.
Actually seeing somebody with my kids, it's not an easy thing to swallow. It's those feelings of, is she going to be better than I am with my kids? Are my kids going to like her better?
Each encounter was just tense, and I'd always feel this just gut, like, oh boy, what's coming?
I didn't have respect for their parenting styles, and they didn't have respect for mine. So we butted heads a lot. There was a lot of harsh words said.
After years of bitterness and strife, their relationship started to slowly change.
There's a few things that I feel were that pivotal point where we changed and started maybe having respect for each other. I think one was when Steve and Abby had a baby.
I absolutely agree with that, because as much as I thought that I knew what I knew about being a parent or being a step parent then, once you have your own and really experience that yourself, like, then I could really relate and be in her shoes.
Both couples had more children, and then Maria and her husband Chris decided to buy the house across the street from Abby and Steve.
Eventually, the more situations and the more encounters we had with him, oh, actually, we do have something in common, or laugh together. But it was that pivotal moving in that really started the relationship.
A relationship that has continued to grow.
There's no growth that happens within your comfort zone. We had to get uncomfortable to be in a better spot. We had to let go of words that we can't take back. Because if you can't and if you don't, then I feel like you're stuck in that hamster wheel of bitterness and resentment.
And the ultimate goal was to raise our kids together, and so that they know what a loving family is, even if their dad and I aren't together. But just keeping that end goal in mind is what really brought me to realize I needed to forgive and just move on.
With forgiveness came an unexpected friendship.
I know that I can be honest with her, that I can come and have a genuine conversation and expect a genuine response.
I would say Abby is probably one of my best friends. She's somebody that I go to when I'm having a bad day or in a good mood or something's going wrong. We'll go and just visit and talk it through.
Together, the friends have created a close-knit extended family.
We went on a family vacation, and that was the kids' Christmas gift from all of us. We've done birthday parties together. Recently, our oldest, Jordan, just got his driver's permit, so Abby and I took him to the DMV together and took him to get his test and pass that.
I come from a divorced family. It looks like you're with mom, you're with dad. Those typically don't get along, and I feel like we just broke the mold of what it can look like.
And I like to tell them a lot is, we're going to make the best out of maybe a not ideal situation. Always trying to find the best in people. Just hopefully they can grow up to be kind, loving individuals as well.
Leading by example has given these best friends a lifelong bond.
I couldn't ask for someone better in my life to help me raise my kids with. I couldn't be happier with having her in my life.
And your voice of reason.
And I am a voice of reason.
I was like, girl. I'm the voice of reason.
She keeps me grounded. I keep her crazy.
Our children do not care if we're happy. Get that through your noggin. They don't care if their parents are happy. They care if they are happy. Go at your own pace. Don't let somebody convince you when you should be involved. But keep in mind, once that happens, it changes.
I met my stepkids probably about 1.5 to 2 years after my husband and I had begun dating. And it was something very simple. So we planned it out because I was like so nervous. Are they gonna be like, you're not my mom? So we met at the bowling alley.
So when I first
met my stepdaughter, I was very intentional about letting her set the pace and set the tone about our relationship.
I dove right into being a full-time stepmother right after the day after we got married. There was no kind of buffer, and so that was definitely tricky. It was tricky for them and tricky for me.
Just starting out, be friends. Do not parent these children.
You want to come in and be a parent, and you want to come in and try to assert your authority or be a disciplinarian. Honey, be a cool auntie. Leave the discipline to their parents until they've established a relationship built on respect and boundaries with you.
I have to say, I wish I had followed that rule of not disciplining stepchildren. I really wish I had known that that can kind of cause a rift in the relationship really early, and if you could hold off for a couple of years on not doing any discipline, that you're more likely to gain their trust and develop that sense of closeness.
But just like in any household, somebody is usually the one who does the enforcing, and somebody's usually the one who lets the kids get away with it. Any household. So when it comes to your blended household, let your partner take the heavy lifting.
It takes work to be in a family like this.
Don't make them call you mom. Let them call you by your first name or a nickname or whatever they want. They may change their mind down the road.
I get a different relationship. I don't have to do all of the punishing, and I don't have to do all the things that you think a parent does. I do some of them, and I certainly step up when I need to, but I can also step back and be a friend whenever that's what my stepdaughter needs. And I think she confides in me in a lot of things that she doesn't necessarily feel comfortable confiding in her parents.
As a stepmother, you are embracing somebody that you didn't create, you didn't cause heartache for.
It can be hard for children to accept love if they don't know where it's coming from, they can't control it. It's an incredibly beautiful moment when you realize that they've received your love, they accept it. I know my kids love me because they now make fun of me sort of nonstop.
The reward comes like later in life. You may not always get the hugs and kisses, but over time, you definitely do start to feel that relationship has really been built and that they'll come to you for life advice. And one of my stepdaughters has 2 children, so we talk about parenting all the time now, right? And it's become a really great connection for us.
They want to know that you care, and they want to know that you're always going to take care of them. So as a stepmother, you have to do a lot of reassurance. Anytime we end a visit with the kids, I'll always say, you know, guys, thank you for inviting me into your family. I really appreciate it. I thank you for just being so good to me. And this is my first time being a stepmom, so you guys got to tell me if I'm screwing up, because I don't know. And they'll be like, you're doing all right.
You really have to try to enter that child's world and live in their world as much as you can. It doesn't have to be quality time. Honestly, quantity really counts. Did they tell you that? Yeah, in parenting, it's all about quantity.
I hope when my stepdaughter's older that she can look back and see that just how much I loved her and how much I truly wanted what was best for her. And there are so many times that it doesn't necessarily come out the way that she may want it when she's 9, but I love her so much, and I've tried so hard to give her the best life and to help her feel like she had an equal shot at happiness and a successful future and all those things as her friends that don't have divorced parents had.
I felt very vulnerable as a new stepmother, and that some of that feeling of wanting things to be a certain way, or maybe feeling like I needed to kind of, almost control things a little bit because everything was kind of feeling kind of chaotic. I never wished upon them to have them feel unloved or uncared for, or that, that they weren't good enough and that somehow they should change to to what I wanted of them.
I regard them as mine, and I wish that they could understand that I am your dad's wife, but I am also something to you. I am yours now too. So that's probably that's something I want them to know. I'm yours too.
I wish they understood sort of how unsure I was when I went into the relationship. And I think they do know how I'm completely crazy about all of them.
It has been a long year. Yeah, where it's been anything but normal.
Well, now there's hope. The COVID vaccines.
I know. It's been a little confusing.
Like really confusing.
So it's more important than ever to make a plan. Visit planyourvaccine.com
to find out where and when to get your vaccine.
What are you waiting for?
Roll up your sleeves and plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
I'm rolling up my sleeves for science, so I'll survive if I contract this virus. For family dinners, family vacations, family anything. For traveling somewhere beyond my living room. And for the Rebels, there is no greater feeling than being in the stadium and cheering on Ole Miss. And now it's your turn. Roll up your sleeves, America. Plan your vaccine, because every shot counts. Visit planyourvaccine.com and make your plan.
He had a first wife, but I'm his last wife. If you take that attitude, then you stand to be successful.
I really didn't want to date a single dad.
Not only did I not have any children before I met my husband, I was the least likely to play with kids when they were around. So I don't think I had any idea of what I was really getting into.
We were both older, and I had been single for almost 20 years. I had raised a daughter completely on my own.
I immediately knew that he was a parent. And to be quite frank, I'd never dated a parent before. And because of all the things I'd heard about dating a parent and conflict and divorce and all that stuff, I knew that I would never, ever, ever, ever date someone with kids. And then, ate my words.
I personally thought, how hard could it be? I was smitten. I don't know. Went on a second date and everything progressed from there.
So you fall in love, and it's like all we wanted to do was make out. And we spent 6 months basically hiding from our children.
He was the absolute best man I'd ever met. And I'd encourage any woman out there, if the guy that you're with has children and he's not the absolute best man you've ever met in your life, run.
I would have taken it more slowly.
I'm like, hey guys, I'm Naja, can I come to this party? And I definitely was not invited, and he was the only person that welcomed me. So I felt the tension instantly.
Our relationship and our romance was really solid by the time we brought our children into the picture. Then when we did bring them into the picture, they, even though they were lovely and kind and they loved us very much, they each one freaked out and ran from the room in tears.
We got a lot of time to really build our friendship and build our closeness, and that was the easiest part about it. One of the hardest things was when I actually started dating him and realized that, oh, actually, I don't have as much time with him as I would like, because on a regular day, he has to do various things with his children.
There's just so much going on in that blended environment that you just need to know, can you handle not being the priority in the relationship and number one to that partner.
Right, because the kids should come first, right? Logically speaking, that sounds fantastic. Of course, always puts the kids first, but your heart doesn't really feel like that's a great decision, right? Your heart feels like, oh, like I'm not significant and I don't matter, and why are the kids always coming first? And you can't help but feel a little bit of resentment.
Some days you're gonna be the leading lady, some days you're just gonna be a stagehand, and some days you're not going to be in the scene at all. So the quicker you realize that, the better off you'll be.
I wouldn't say I've ever felt resentful toward my stepdaughter, but I felt jealousy toward her. And I think it's kind of natural to have to share time even with somebody. When you're in a relationship with somebody who's single, you don't have to share that time.
There's so many hard parts about dating a divorced parent.
I had a lot of emotions. I was really insecure. I found myself comparing myself to his first wife, like constantly.
They didn't buy their first house with you. They didn't have their first child with you. You wonder, oh my God, what's that ride to the hospital gonna be like? Because they've been there, done that. But you need to understand they've not done it with you. This is unique to your relationship and your experience.
As much as it sucks, being second, and as hard as that is, I couldn't have the life I have if it weren't that way.
Very early on, we were trading our divorce stories, and he said to me, this is a quote, he said, Amy, I have an idea. Let's do everything differently. And we did.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright. Are you ready? We're going to do our part to spread the word on the importance of vaccines, so crucial for reopening America.
A big day around here, a very special naturalization ceremony.
Many of them doctors, nurses, other essential workers.
If you are a nurse, thank you.
Spring has sprung, guys, and we want to fill this season with some fun and surprises.
Yes.
This is the face of excitement.
Celebrating Earth Day. Let's change the world. Love it!
I'm rolling up my sleeves for science, so I'll survive if I contract this virus. For family dinners, family vacations, family anything. For traveling somewhere beyond my living room. And for the Rebels, there is no greater feeling than being in the stadium and cheering on Ole Miss. And now it's your turn. Roll up your sleeves, America. Plan your vaccine, because every shot counts. Visit planyourvaccine.com and make your plan.
Make the most of your day with Today All Day. Get closer to all your friends at Today in a whole new way.
Today in 30.
We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Shop today with Jill Martin.
We're helping you shop like never before.
The latest styles and biggest names. Today food.
Things are heating up in the Today All Day kitchen.
Cooking essentials and recipe inspiration.
Get ready. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm so ready.
Only on Today All Day.
This is about 50 votes. If you can't get bipartisanship here, where are you going to get it? If China decided to cover this up, can we ever actually get a definitive answer? What happens if we don't act on police reform this year? If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press. The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
My prayer game is on point now, just because there was some moments where I just didn't see how I would get to the end of the rainbow.
There's a lot of things that people don't get about step-parenting, and often the advice I would get was,
well, what did you think you were getting into? What did you expect? Why did you marry him? And it's kind of like, well, that's not what I need right now. For stepmothers, it's very difficult for people to understand what their life really is.
When you have stress, when you're having moments of contention, when you are completely overwhelmed, I don't think it's a good idea to go to your loved ones. These people, they love you, and in their mind, the first thing they're gonna tell you to do is just to leave. No, I want the best for you. I don't want him for you. I want you to go. And you're in love.
As a newbie stepmom, you don't know who to turn to. Your friends who are not stepmothers don't have that insight to share, and only other stepmothers can help you get through it.
Let's say you're with a dad and he has a bedtime ritual with one of his kids that goes on for hours, and you're left watching Netflix by yourself. You know, like, there is so much to resent on both sides. And I think it's okay to feel these feelings, but you have to not go there.
One of the hardest things to talk about as a stepmother is your anger, because anger is often like this dirty little secret, right? You don't really know how to express it. It's like, oh, don't you love your children?
Stepmothering or raising another person's kid, and it's been happening all throughout history, as long as we know it. But it has like an unnatural feeling to it, because many times you don't know your place. And so I'll see a lot of stepmothers feel feelings of anger and resentment. But if we drill down to what those feelings really mean, it means they're insecure. They don't know their place. And I'm saying they. I'm in the group too, ladies. It's not, we're all in this together.
Nothing will shake you off your foundation or knock the stuffing out of you like a step kid who is raging, sad, acting out.
And I feel like for new stepmothers, I wish that somebody would tell them that it's okay if you're angry, and it's okay to talk about it. It doesn't mean that you're not a loving person, and it doesn't mean that you don't care about your stepkids, but it's a lot of emotions that you're dealing with all at once, and you've never had that kind of responsibility before in your life.
My biggest self-care tip is that you have to make time for self-care. I put it on my planner like first, before anything else.
Don't lose who you are. Still do the activities that you are passionate about before you became a stepmother. Do not get pulled into that stepmom vortex.
Here's what I did self-care wise. It's called Dunkin' Donuts drive-through. I would get in my car and drive away and go through Dunkin' Donuts and sit by the lake and drink a cup of coffee and look at the water, honestly. And I didn't come back until I was feeling better.
The biggest thing, I think, is trying to understand what you need in terms of self-love. What are the things that are missing for you that are leading you to be triggered in your relationships? I feel like if more stepmothers were able to understand what they need to feel nourished and to really feel deep self-love and almost feel a sense of inner abundance, because nothing is going to help your relationships with your stepchildren more than if you're a happy, wholesome, wholehearted being.
I encourage all stepmoms to have a stop word, because many times you'll be in your feelings. And so when you find your mind kind of veering off over into your man's past, or something that his ex said, or something that the kid said, or something that you saw, have a stop word. I can't tell you mine, because there's cussing in it, but.
I think a big job for any parent is to cope with their own feelings, the same way we try to coach our children to. Being a stepmother has really given me the gift of surrendering to my own humanity, my flaws, and I think I am more authentically myself. Every stepmother in the world, is aware of the evil stepmother trope, and it's kind of painful, honestly.
It has to be talked about. The society as a whole should be embracing it and talking about it, and not in a negative way.
There's a lot of people who don't like the word stepmom because of this association with it being wicked. I'm a proud stepmom. I stand behind everything that the word stepmom stands for. I am married to a man who had a daughter before me, and I'm her stepmom, and I'm proud to be her stepmom.
There's nothing that I could personally do to dispel the myth that's in their head if they're dead set on keeping it. My first love is comedy. Turn everything into a game. Make them laugh, because we remember how people made us feel. Yeah, it's one thing to hear what the other adults are saying, but I remember every adult in my life that made me feel good.
Be a great step-parent, be a great stepmother, be the best stepmother you can be. Another way to do it is for us to stop talking about step-parents using this kind of phrase. Who are your real kids? In front of your kids! All of our kids are all of our kids.
In our current society, there's so many step families and blended families, and it's kind of becoming the norm right now. And there's so many happy kids who are part of these families, so maybe they can be changing the stereotypes for the future in the sense of like, I was raised by a stepmother and I turned out great and she loved me and cared about me and she was a stable adult in my life.
You can't take a lot of stuff personally. You know, compared to Cinderella, everybody's got it pretty good.
You had such a good example with your father, Kirk, and your stepmother, Anne. Were they married 66 years, or I think I read this morning?
63 years.
63.
63 years. No, maybe you're... No,
well,
I
don't
63.
know. Don't quote me.
Yeah. No, they're wonderful, wonderful people, and I lost Dad a year ago now, a year ago February, and Anne I just lost about 3 weeks ago. And my tribute to her is an extraordinary stepmother. You know, step parents really don't get the credit they're due. You hear all the stories about mean old step parents, but the truth is, people like Anne and I had a great stepfather, and a lot of families do that. Out of their love for their partner, you know, they've raised their kids, other people's kids, and there's extraordinary efforts on their part. So. Here's to, I think we have so many days now. Dave says, I think we need Step Parents Day.
You know what? That's a good idea.
Our across-America journey here in Louisville, Kentucky. Cleveland, reporting on an America rebuilding after the pandemic.
How narrow a window do you have to really get kids back where we would want them to be?
NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
Make the most of your day with
Today in
30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Watch Today in 30 on your schedule, streaming every day on Today All Day.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright. Are you ready? We're going to do our part to spread the word on the importance of vaccines, so crucial for reopening America.
A big day around here. A very special naturalization ceremony.
Many of them doctors, nurses, other essential workers.
If you are a nurse, thank you.
Spring has sprung, guys, and we want to fill this season with some fun and surprises.
Yes. This is the face of excitement.
Celebrating Earth Day. Let's change the world. Love it!
This is about 50 votes. If you can't get bipartisanship here, where are you going to get it? If China decided to cover this up, can we ever actually get a definitive answer? What happens if we don't act on police reform this year? If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
So first of all, you say Thomas Rhett. For years, I thought Thomas was his first name and Rhett was his last name. And then when I saw his Instagram, you know, and I learned more about him, I'm like, oh, Thomas Rhett is
his name. Yes. Back 30 years ago, when we were trying to come up with a name, my husband at the time, Rhett, his dad, we couldn't agree. So we were, being from the South, we were like Thomas Rhett.
I love it. And the rest is history. So take me back to those early years when they were young. What were those years like for you?
Okay, so Rhett, his dad, was a country singer back in the 90s. When we first moved to Nashville and he took off on the road, my daughter, Casey, was like 6 weeks old. Thomas Rhett was 4. You know, it was kind of crazy. And we would go out on the road, some with Rhett, but to me, that was harder than just staying at home with them and doing it by myself.
So tell me, I know you, and I'm also a product of divorce early on, but you and your husband divorced when the kids were young. Any advice to other moms out there who are going through a divorce with young children?
Yeah, don't ever badmouth your ex because that is their father and you married him for a reason. They have some good in them. So just keep all that to yourself. And we were both very good at that. And I think my kids, you know, they came through it, but we've always kept it amicable. And like even now, I mean, we spend Christmas together and go on ski trips and to the beach. And if you create problems there, it creates problems for your kids.
That is such wonderful advice. Thomas Rhett has said that the way he views his life and his morals and all of that is because of you and what you instilled in him as a child. As a mom, that must feel so good to hear, because I'm sure there are days when you're thinking, did I do this right?
Well, I mean, I tear up and cry just about every time I hear it, you know, because, you know, it does make you feel really good that you know, when you're doing it, when you're in the midst of it, you're like, oh, what am I doing? You surround your kids by good people and they will eventually become good people. And that's the goal.
Excuse me, what size shoe you wear? Can I ask you what size shoe you wear? Can I give you a pair of sneakers for free? Yeah? Here, Mr. Daniel, try these on for me, please. Everything that we do, especially as New Yorkers, starts with our feet. They're good? There you go, man. That's for you. No, thank you, Mr. Daniel. Appreciate you.
Good, because it's a little pain, because all the time with it, and I take it one time off a week, maybe, if I want to take a shower.
Wow.
Yeah.
There are 67,000 less fortunate or homeless people in the state of New York. Almost 2,000 to 3,000 of them are walking around with no shoes on. They're people just like us, and they should not be forgotten. It's From the Soul is a nonprofit organization providing sneakers to the less fortunate. We are a store for them. We do not call them homeless. We call them less fortunate because we believe in one day they will move into a place of becoming fortunate. Companies have now donated towards our organization. Regular people have donated to our organization. Everybody can look into their closet. Every single person can look in their closet and see something that you know you're not gonna wear anymore. Now the bridge between that is something you're not gonna wear anymore and finding who needs it. 2012 till today, we have given more than 30,000 sneakers. My main mission is to educate people that helping the less fortunate can be enjoyable. How you feel? You all right?
No, man. Yeah. You know what's nice is that some of these sneakers I remember growing up really wanting.
I came from Barbados when I was 4 years old, and I've lived in Brooklyn, New York for 41 years now. I worked as a stylist, a client specialist in fashion for 20 years. I'm tired of seeing less fortunate people with no sneakers on when this sneaker culture is a billion-dollar industry. Every 12 to 13 blocks, there is a sneaker store. How can there be less fortunate people walking around with no comfort? We're asking for gently worn or brand new sneakers. We don't believe in giving anything that we would not put our feet into. I haven't provided in about 2-3 weeks. So because I haven't provided in 2-3 weeks, they're gonna be there waiting for me today. There's 30 sneakers in these 2 bags, and we're gonna make sure that some less fortunate people are walking very comfortable today. My first time going, or first couple of times, I didn't know where to go. But as I continue to do it, I realized that there's 4 areas I go. 14th Street, Union Square, Madison Square Garden, Penn Station, Port Authority Bus Station, Grand Central Station. Those 4 areas, 24/7, they will be there waiting for you. Can I give you a pair today?
Yeah, please,
okay.
Andre.
All right.
You already know I love you.
All right, man.
Everybody out here in the city love Andre.
I'm feeling good, man.
Everybody gonna want to see you.
There you go. And I want to see everybody too, man.
I know you do.
All right, family. Enjoy your day, man. It's From the Soul was started 8 years ago. Me and my friends were playing basketball. I seen a gentleman walking by limping. And I looked down, he had on no shoes and no socks. What size shoe you wear? 9.5. I got you. So I ran up to the gentleman and I said, excuse me, sir, can I ask you what size shoe you wear? He told me to leave him alone, get out of his face. And I said, I'll leave you alone if you just tell me what size you wear. He said the last time he remembered he wears size 10. Something in me that I said, how many more less fortunate people are in this city like this gentleman? I gotta look in my closet and see how many sneakers I have that I don't wear.
Thank you.
All right, lovely. Thank you,
God
family.
bless you.
Thank you. Thank you. I started walking around New York City every day in my closet grabbing sneakers that I didn't even wear, looking for people who wear from 10 to 12 and started providing my sneakers to them. When my sneakers ran out, I started asking all my friends and their family for their sneakers. And then that's how It's From the Soul grew. Can I give you a pair of sneakers for free? Yeah, follow me, please. Try these on for me, please. Some nice, good New Balance, super light, comfortable.
What's up?
What's going on, man? How are you? Hey, what's up? How's everything?
Good, good.
All right, give me 1 second. I'll be with you, okay? We tie their sneakers for them. Help them put their sneakers on. We want them to feel dignity. We want them to feel like they're coming into a sneaker store. You do? Okay. The new 580s, so when you step down, it has that cushion in it. That makes it more comfortable.
Yeah, I need a car. I just had an operation.
Yes, well, bless you, man. Bless you. A lot of the less fortunate people, they don't understand, why would you want to give me something that you probably can sell? So we have to change the narrative and let them know we are here to help. We are not here to get anything from you. All right, yeah, Mildred, yeah. They fit, right? Oh, yeah, there they go, there you go. The things that I usually complain about, shows me that the things that I complain about, they really don't matter. Because now other people are providing for less fortunate, and they send us the video, they send us the picture, so that we could see that we have inspired them. So now that this organization is growing the way it is, now that people feel the need that they need to give out of their closet or give their resources, it's just an incredible feeling.
This is about 50 votes. If you can't get bipartisanship here, where are you going to get it? If China decided to cover this up, can we ever actually get a definitive answer? What happens if we don't act on police reform this year? If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
Our Across America journey here in Louisville, Kentucky, Cleveland, reporting on an America rebuilding after the pandemic.
How narrow a window do you have to really get kids back where we would want them to be?
NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt.
It has been a long year.
Yeah, where it's been anything but normal.
Well, now there's hope. The COVID vaccines.
I know. It's been a little confusing.
Like really confusing.
So it's more important than ever to make a plan. Visit planyourvaccine.com
to find out where and when to get your vaccine.
What are you waiting for? Roll up your sleeves and plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Before Wani came along, I didn't know anything about blind and visually impaired people.
Visually impaired means you're not blind, but you can't see much either. That doesn't mean you can't do great things.
So Wani, you good with a grilled cheese and Niara? What is it that you would like? My name is Gracie Benedict Kane, and I'm Wani's mother. I am the CEO and founder of Bro Code Inc. What we do is we provide services for blind and visually impaired people through our patches. I would describe Wani as a very happy boy. He's very confident. He has a warm heart. He's very loving and caring. He's pretty smart, you know. He sings, he loves to sing. When he was born, I realized something was going on with his eyes when he was 2 months. I took him to the doctor, and he then told me that he wasn't gonna have 100% of his vision. When he was 11 months, they did an MRI, and then they diagnosed him with septo-optic nerve dysplasia. I was devastated. The first 2 years of his life, I was completely lost. The stuff before him, and maybe even a little bit of my childhood, has been erased because I was that devastated the first 2 years of his life. It was traumatizing because it was my first child, and I was a single mom. Like, I knew that I was gonna go through this alone. So I just had my mom the first 2 years and my family. It was different layers of fear. It was, what's gonna become of his future? What is his future gonna be like? How is he gonna make it in a sighted world? How is he gonna make it through? How would people understand him? Because, you know, when a child is born this way, majority of the time, it's other things going on with them too. There's other issues. His optic nerve wasn't fully developed, but also his pituitary gland wasn't really developed as well. It was so many other layers. After he turned 2, I came to terms with everything. There was a point when he started to walk. He was walking at, I believe it was 19 months, and he spoke before he walked. And he picked up an object off the floor, and I saw that there was a contrast. So he was teaching me along the way. Unbeknownst to me, Wani was going to teach me and show me the way. So when Wani was 4 or 5 years old, I believe, there was a struggle on how to put on his clothes. He was trying to, but it just wasn't working. So I actually started to just search. I started to do a heavy search on things and products, and I didn't find anything that would work. I was laid off, and literally 3 weeks later, I was sitting in my living room, and I had an epiphany. I saw patches. I saw patches in Braille, and it spooked me out because I was by myself inside of my apartment. But I'm looking up and I'm seeing objects, I'm seeing things, and I was like, oh my God, that's it. This is what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to make Braille on clothes for kids.
I read with my fingers. I read Braille. The patches, they're adhesive and you could stick them to clothes, and it has directional cues such as back, left, and right. If the Braille's on the inside, that means it's inside out. And if it's on the outside, then it means it's fine. I could easily put on my clothes without having to ask her, is this backwards, is this inside out? With Braille code patches, I can know without asking her. So I'm glad my mom created this. I want sighted people to know that blind and visually impaired people can do great things despite their condition. I do communicate with sighted people, but still, it's kind of rare to find someone in the same boat as me.
Hey, Monty. Yeah? You were right. Season 3 was really sad. We're up to season 3 already?
I met Wani. He was a student in my class. He was very eager to learn. Wani was like, whatever you got, Miss Reed, just give it to me because you sound like my mother. And I instill in the children that school is supposed to be a place where learning is fun.
And feel the powder inside?
Yeah.
What do you think that is?
Cocoa powder?
Mm-mm, those are iron shavings. So let's sprinkle some on the paper. So I want you to feel so you could see. Now take your magnet, see what happens.
Wow.
Feel the other end so you know.
And I just saw it come off the paper.
Oh, you saw it go up off the paper, good.
When I first heard about the company, I thought it was fantastic. It was a beautiful thing that the mother has done. What I liked about it is that this is a parent who understands that she had a child with special needs, and she wanted to learn the world the way he learned the world. This mother went way beyond because she wanted to make sure whatever her child needed, she was going to make it accessible for him so that he can navigate the world the same way that she navigates the world. And what she's done is she's taken off her glasses so that she can learn the same way that her child learns. And that's, you know, most parents don't do that. People who are blind and visually impaired, we're not asking for special treatment. We're just asking for an equal playing field.
Hey, bud. How was your day?
What I hope for Wani's future is I see Wani going places, and he comes from a beautiful background as far as family members. He has a great support system. Support is something that all of us need.
Bless this food, bless this family, amen. I remember one of my sisters, they said, look, we're going to be his eyes. If he needs us to be his eyes, we'll be his eyes. Whatever he needs, we are here for him. I don't understand why we're in 2019 and there's no Braille labels on products.
Okay, so let's see what we're gonna get here today.
Wani's ready for the independence, but the world is not ready for him. He cannot go to the supermarket on his own because he can't read what's on it like a sighted person could. So it will be him constantly having to ask. I'm preparing him as much as I can.
Any cars to the left of you?
No, we're on the right. There's none on the left.
The visually impaired world tries to adapt with the sighted world. What I will tell the world is that I would love the sighted world to help us adapt. You know, come into our world and understand more what our life is like. I've given him so much independence that I just have to continue to do it. I have to continue to let him go. As hard as it feels inside, it's hard to think about it, and that's what I've been doing, and I will continue to do.
Hi, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright.
Are you ready? Half of all U.S. adults now fully vaccinated.
A huge lift is underway for one of the most celebrated cities in this country, Cleveland, Ohio.
Yep. This is the greatest location in the nation.
We're having a baby.
Wow.
The big reveal is under the lid.
Hey now.
Things are looking brighter, so we want to help you find the fun in 21. Music is back.
Y'all were exactly what we needed.
This is about 50 votes. If you can't get bipartisanship here, where are you going to get it? If China decided to cover this up, can we ever actually get a definitive answer? What happens if we don't act on police reform this year? If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press. This is about 50 votes. If you can't get bipartisanship here, where are you going to get it? If China decided to cover this up, can we ever actually get a definitive answer? What happens if we don't act on police reform this year? If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
Now, more than ever, people aren't just seeking to try new foods and flavors, but also learn about the origins of what's on their plate.
That's the idea behind the new Netflix docuseries High on the Hog, based on the 2011 book by historian Jessica B. Harris.
In this series, food writer Stephen Satterfield traces the contributions and creativity of African Americans when it comes to food. I sat down with both Satterfield and Harris to discuss why they believe it is so important to explore the past and dig into these untold stories.
We are.
In High on the Hog, How African American Cuisine Transformed America, viewers watch food writer and host Stephen Satterfield on a journey to trace the origins of the foods we love.
It's African because it made the voyage with us.
Why were you drawn to do a series like this?
I love food. It really brought me to a place of deeper curiosity.
The unique foodie trip shows that the stories behind many dishes innovated by African Americans have been largely left untold. How important was it, in your opinion, for the culture to do something like this?
We have, for many years, been overdue for a serious look at the contributions that Black folks have had to food culture in the U.S. and really around the world.
Culinary scholar Jessica B. Harris has been passionate about this topic for decades. Her book, which she wrote back in 2011, is now the basis of this 4-part series. She accompanied Stephen to West Africa, teaching him along the way.
They brought rice, the yams, peas, beans, black-eyed peas, fava beans. All of those things that now join us are things that came with us.
Were you on board immediately?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, we've set the table and often cooked the meal and harvested the food. So at this point, it looks as though we may be getting a place at the table, and we certainly deserve it, and it's been a long time coming. We tend to read history as absolute fact, but certainly in the case of the history of African Americans, it's important to study the silences.
A parade of chefs, historians, entrepreneurs, and descendants also peel back layers.
How did it feel once you realized that you were a descendant of the person or the family that helped popularize this dish in the U.S.?
I'm wondering where my royalties are. Every Black American has something like that in their background.
You can't explore the roots of our food culture without talking about slavery. Can you talk about that a little bit?
For African American people, the foundational relationship that we have with this country is one of servitude and forced labor, and that is rooted in agriculture. And so it is at times difficult story to tell, but it is a true and necessary story to tell.
On that note, I had no idea that George Washington had this renowned chef by the name of Hercules.
He was famous. If someone who was enslaved lived in Philly for more than 6 months, they were automatically freed. And so Washington, who was well aware of the rule, would continue every, 5 months and 29 days to send people back to Mount Vernon so that they would remain enslaved.
There's no known image of the man who led the first president's kitchen, but Hercules Posey's fine dining cooking skills continue to inspire today.
The thing that's so amazing about African American Black culinary history is every day we learn more.
What do you hope viewers will take away from some of the tales shared within this series?
My hope is that people begin to think about the areas in their own lives in which the contributions of Black people may not have yet been documented.
If you're wondering why Daryl Alston is looking up these days, just look down.
We want our shoes to be the conversation piece. So if you're not interested in the extra attention, this brand isn't for you. I got this store now, I want to get 20 more, Check them out.
Alston is the CEO and creative lead of Bungie Obliceni.
We did the python in the back.
A high-end shoe designer bursting into the Philadelphia sneakerhead scene last year. They're made flashy to create buzz and draw attention.
And this is one of my favorites too.
But the original purpose was just to give Daryl his great escape from prison.
I have over 250 designs.
All while you were in prison?
All while I was in prison.
That creativity was always in him, but his first passion was music. Before jail, Alston was a fairly successful rapper, opening shows for headliners like Lil' Kim and LL Cool J. But he says the business was tough, and keeping up with the lifestyle was even harder. So to make a little money on the side, he sold drugs and got caught.
The last vision that my grandparents have of me is me getting beat up by the police and getting sent to jail.
His grandfather died while he was behind bars.
I just remember breaking down immediately.
You actually thought about suicide?
Yes, definitely, a couple of times.
Instead, he poured everything into his art.
My mom, she was like, look, I don't know how you're going to survive if you don't create your own business. And immediately the light bulb went off.
Alston used connections as a barber to hustle his shoes, but it wasn't until a chance encounter with boxing legend Bernard Hopkins that things really took off.
I wasn't a fan of his first sneaks, but...
Wait, what was your reaction when you saw him?
You think I'm aware of this? What?
But the two bonded over a shared history and the same drive. It turns out both men were locked up in the same prison years apart.
What about his story are you inspired by?
That he didn't get talked out of his dreams. Everybody got all the dreams when you're in there, but what do you do when you get out?
I just want to thank everybody for coming out.
Today, Daryl is living his dream, His goal now, to do what his mentor did for him.
I want to be able to help other people like me that are either incarcerated or that just needs help to be able to create a business.
A mission of redemption from the soul of a man who's reminded of just how far determination travels every time he takes another step. For today, Steve Patterson, NBC News, Philadelphia.
Make the most of your day with
Today in 30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show in a mere 30 minutes.
Savannah and Hoda bring you what you must know. The biggest moments of the morning.
One Republic!
Exclusive interviews.
Why did it work for you?
You're right. I am more talented than the rest.
And important headlines.
Major medical news this morning.
Watch Today in 30 on your schedule. Streaming every day on Today All Day.
Meet 24-year-old identical triplets Ahmad, Khalil, and Malik Jones.
No equipment, all you need is some space, some hydration, some energy, and some action, all right? That's it.
Growing up, the brothers always put fitness first. And while all three of them were attending the University of Pennsylvania, they started a side hustle, training friends and classmates.
This is dorm abs.
We started hosting boot camps with the dorm that we were living in. And the following year, they invited us to continue doing them. So the University of Pennsylvania ended up being one of our first biggest clients.
After graduation, the threesome became certified trainers and launched Trio Fitness full-time with a mission to motivate folks to move, not only to better their bodies, but their minds.
Between the three of us, we have that synergy, we have that trust that you can't really get typically when you're starting to build a business. And it's been easy for us to just transition from being on the same sports team to being on the same business team.
In addition to running Trio Fitness, the siblings are also at the top of the boutique Philly workout scene. Ahmad is an instructor at Barry's. Khalil is a trainer for Rumble Boxing. And Malik is a coach at Unite Fitness.
Today we got 10-minute abs.
In Philly, their classes are so in demand that clients gym hop to catch each brother. The triplets call that the Trio Fitness Tour, or the Trio Triple.
We actually even had one woman, she was visiting from Chicago, so I think she took Khalil's class first and didn't know that we were triplets, and then just happened to go take Malik's class. And then she was like, you guys are triplets, now I gotta go take Ahmad's class. She was here for like a weekend and she took all three classes, like almost back to back.
But at the beginning of the pandemic, Trio was forced to pivot. With widespread gym closures, the triplets no longer had physical spaces to teach their classes. So they went digital.
We started making fitness content on TikTok. We started doubling down on Instagram, giving people workouts they can do from home. Longer follow-along workouts, shorter workouts, workouts you can do without equipment, workouts you can do with chairs, detergent bottles, wine bottles. So just making sure that people had the resources to stay healthy at home as best as they could.
Then, in the wake of Philly's Black Lives Matter protests, the brothers decided to use their platform for good and shifted their Instagram feed from playful workout videos to serious snippets on practicing meaningful allyship and supporting Black-owned businesses.
We felt as though we had a responsibility to make sure that we, used our platform in a way that created more visibility around issues that were really, really important, but not necessarily talked about enough.
And also, let's educate ourselves, because at the same time, the three of us benefit from different types of privilege as well, right? Nobody is completely outside of privilege, but you use it in order to communicate and advocate for the other group.
Through it all, the brothers have embraced a new entrepreneurial side of their relationship.
As rough as things can get, as maybe it's just a hard night of work, we can still laugh about it, we can still have fun with it, but we're always gonna be having fun. And that's why it's really the best situation that we could even ask for.
2, 1, 3.
Hi, Today All Day. Hope you're ready for some laughs. Coming up, we put your favorite celebrities to the test as they take on the 6-minute marathon. Plus, we've got some of my personal favorite sit-down interviews from the last few months. So get excited as Today All Day continues right now.
What is something you have read about yourself that is totally untrue?
Well, I mean, I guess my net worth is kind of surprising to me. I Googled that recently, and I was like, well, I don't know where they're getting that number from.
Higher or lower?
In my mind, it's lower. It should be higher.
Welcome to the 6-minute marathon.
Well, let's do this. I'm ready. I run a lot of marathons, so let's do it.
All right, here we go. Number 1. What is the one thing you always have to have on an airplane?
Headphones.
What is the most used app on your phone?
Most used app. Wow. Probably messaging, text messaging.
Are you a WhatsApper?
I'm not a WhatsApper. I need to get my WhatsApp cracking. My wife has it, so like whenever I need to use it, we're usually like traveling together.
If someone narrated your life, who would you want to be the narrator?
I mean, Morgan Freeman's a good one. Alec Baldwin did so well with Tannenbaums too, so maybe Alec Baldwin.
No one in his family had spoken to him in 3 years. Richie had retired from professional tennis at 26.
If you had to start a side hustle, what would you do?
Like clothing, I think. We're getting into the clothing pretty good, so yeah, like streetwear.
Okay, I was gonna ask, like athleisure, dressy.
Yeah, I think streetwear, hip-hoppy.
What bit of trivia do you know that is very interesting but also very useless?
A lot of state capitals. I know a lot of state capitals. And I remember we were shooting this movie, Wieners, me and Zach Levi, the great Shazam. And we were just stuck in a van for a summer, and there was this like magnet state map, basically, and we just learned the capitals to pass the time.
Which is the one that is most impressive when you know it?
It's like Montpellier or something like that.
I was gonna guess that. Is that Vermont?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I know. That's the one I always remember because it's like, what? Montpellier?
Super French. And like, I'm sorry, where is this supposed to be? Montpellier. I thought that was water.
What on-screen moment has made your career?
I'd probably say What's Up With That was a pretty solid defining moment. Like the first What's Up With That.
What's up with that? What's up with that?
You know, because that was like, you know, a real stamp on my creativity and, you know, the creativity of the writers coming together to, you know, fit into a show that was 40 years old. It just has such a lineage. So to come up with an idea that fits there just made me feel really good.
Would you say you are more of an extrovert or an introvert?
I'm very introverted. I'm a mellow, kind of quiet kind of guy. And then when I get on stage, I get to perform, and being an actor allows me to be an extrovert because I'm not myself, basically. But me personally, yeah, I'm super chilling, super quiet, basically.
When people expect you to be Kenan Thompson, is that kind of hard in your everyday life? People think they're going to come up and you're going to be like, have a lampshade on your head all the time?
Lampshade. It used to be like I had to learn how to just go with the fact that this is a once in a lifetime moment maybe for a lot of people, you know, and just give them what they look for. And it's always a much better experience to just embrace the love that people are trying to give me. It's not like people are trying to like come tell me off because like I'm playing a villain or anything like that. It's always all love, and I just learned to just allow my public persona to be a part of my life when I go out in public. You know, it's just a give and take that once I came to terms with, life was much smoother.
Oh, that's smart. Yeah, you just look at it as sort of an extension of your public life or what you might do on the show.
Or just how I would feel, you know, like I get very excited when I see famous people too, you know, and I want to run up to them and tell them like, yo, I grew up on, you know, and they're like watching you and you're like, you're wonderful. And I never take into account sometimes that they could be having a bad day or they're tired, they don't want to speak to anybody. But, you know, for me, it's like I'll never probably see this person again sometimes. That's what you're thinking. And then I got, you know, the understanding of that mentality. And I was just like, yeah, just take the picture and be nice. Kiss the babies.
Give them a little moment. What is something you have read about yourself that is totally untrue?
Totally untrue. I mean, I guess I've been misquoted, you know, or quoted to a point where they didn't get exactly what I was trying to say. But, you know, that's only happened a couple of times. I haven't read any, well, I mean, I guess my net worth is kind of surprising to me. I Googled that recently and I was like, well, I don't know where they're getting that number from.
Higher or lower?
In my mind, it's lower. It should be higher, but the reality, I think, is lower.
What is the most embarrassing story from your childhood?
Probably that gymnastics photo my mom put on Willie Geist interview the other day. It was like me in like a sparkly tank top jumpsuit, purple sparkly tank top jumpsuit with my little maybe 6-year-old muscles showing.
Your mom, she just sold you out and like.
Yeah, she loves that photo. It was like a gymnastics thing or something that I was in when I was little, and you know, it was like a recital, and she loves that photo. I remember she was taking pictures of me all day that day. She just thought I was so cute.
And is this the first time the photo's really been like out in the public?
This is the second time, and like the first time people gave me a hard time, and I think, you know, this time they might go a little easier just because, you know, I'm older now, I have kids and stuff, so it's cute to look back at 6-year-old me.
Name one bad habit that you have.
It's gotta probably be dietary things, like, you know, my cheat days, you know, start to stack up and become 2 or 3 a week as opposed to like 1 a week. So just, you know, trying to stay on top of making good decisions when it's time to eat.
Keenan, congrats on the new show, Keenan, on NBC.
Anna, thank you very much. I'm over the moon excited.
It's on Tuesdays, or as you and I say, Tuesday.
Tuesday, you already know. We're gonna get it started.
We're gonna get
a good thing.
Hashtag Tuesday, it's happening.
I'm rolling up my sleeves for science, so I'll survive if I contract this virus. For family dinners, family vacations, family anything. For traveling somewhere beyond my living room. And for the Rebels, there is no greater feeling than being in the stadium and cheering on Ole Miss. And now it's your turn. Roll up your sleeves, America. Plan your vaccine, because every shot counts. Visit planyourvaccine.com and make your plan. I'm rolling up my sleeves for science, so I'll survive if I contract this virus. For family dinners, family vacations, family anything. For traveling somewhere beyond my living room. And for the Rebels, there is no greater feeling than being in the stadium and cheering on Ole Miss. And now it's your turn. Roll up your sleeves, America. Plan your vaccine, because every shot counts. Visit planyourvaccine.com and make your plan.
If you were sent to jail, who would you call to bail you out?
I would call my agent.
Okay, I thought you were gonna say Anderson. No?
Oh, you know, sometimes he doesn't pick up for me.
Andy Cohen, welcome to the 6-Minute Marathon. This is the best marathon you'll ever run.
Yeah, also the only marathon.
Yeah. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Set the clock. Okay. What is something you've always wanted to do but haven't checked off the bucket list yet?
Skydive.
Really?
Yeah, it's something I've always wanted to do.
What's your biggest pet peeve?
My biggest pet peeve is bad breath.
Yeah, the real bad, like the halitosis, the one that comes from deep within.
Yeah.
I know that one. If you could only watch one movie for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Ooh, Empire Strikes Back?
I'm with you on that. That's funny. You're a Star Wars geek?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. What is the biggest misconception people have about you?
That I'm dumb.
People don't think that, do they?
I think people might think I'm dumb.
Maybe shallow.
I'm deep but shallow.
I get it.
Yeah.
I can relate. What do you think
But thank you for throwing that in.
It was like, why aren't you commenting on how I just insulted you?
Yeah, I know. It took me a minute for that to sink in.
I know, I'm just teasing.
Yeah, it's
but
all
I was
good.
like, wow, he's so zen now. He didn't even whip me for that.
I am deep and shallow. I've monetized that moniker, so it's okay.
I like it. Okay. What's your favorite emoji?
It is, I'm going to show it to you. Hold on. I send it constantly. It's this.
Oh. Yeah. You don't feel so good face.
Yeah.
If you were sent to jail, who would you call to bail you out?
I would call my agent.
Okay. I thought you were going to say Anderson. No?
Oh. Sometimes he doesn't pick up for me.
In one word, what is the secret to your success?
Passion.
What's the most recent show you've binge watched?
Game of Thrones. I've never seen it. It was my COVID treat.
And did it meet the hype?
It met the hype. I loved it. I'm 8 years late, but I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe the Red Wedding. I mean, I'm literally living in 2012.
It's funny because I've wanted to see it, but I haven't wanted to make the commitment, but it's worth it.
Now's a real good time.
Yeah. What do you think you are much better at than you actually are?
Maybe dancing.
Who would be your dream guest on Watch What Happens Live that has never been on before?
Michelle Obama.
That would be a good one. I thought you might say the Pope, somebody like that.
I don't think he would be spilling the tea.
No, I don't either. If you were stuck on a desert island but could bring one type of food with you to eat forever, what would it be?
Pizza, French onion soup, mac and cheese, that kind of stuff. Just give me a huge thing of French onion soup. I'm great.
What's the last picture you took with your phone?
Yeah. My son holding up the bottle all by himself.
Oh, that's a cute one. Now that you're a parent, it's like, I bet your phone is nothing but bad.
I have so many pictures of him. It's like, I'm even starting to get bored.
Well, no, he's so cute though.
I know.
Is he talking at all?
No, just sounds.
Does he say dad?
He says dad.
Well, it could be directed at you.
I kind of think it is.
Do you sing in the shower?
I sing everywhere.
What's your favorite song right now?
You know what? I'm super into the new Taylor Swift album. Like, next level. Cannot even believe how good it is.
You know what? That's so funny. Wait a minute. Because Hoda is obsessed and listening to it. Just hold on. Let me see if I get her in here. Hold on. Hoda!
How good is that Taylor Swift album? Is that the next out of my mind?
Repeat. It's on freaking
She was playing for me all morning.
What do you love? Give me your top two.
I love Mirror Ball. I love Last Great American Dynasty.
What
about that Invisible String?
Invisible Strings.
Yes.
Wait, what about you like number one, the first one?
I love number one. It's so good. I am like, not that I ever didn't think Taylor Swift was talented. I always knew she was, but
I was just
Is
playing
that
something
funny?
to SG. Yes.
I was like, I gotta get Hoda. She's flipping
I gotta
out.
go get my mask. Bye.
The last two people at the Today Show, Hoda and Savannah.
Ooh, this is a good one. Would you rather give up alcohol for a year or give up your phone for a month?
Wow.
That's a real tough would you rather.
I'd rather give up my phone for a month. I think that would be much healthier. I mean, I don't have an alcohol problem. That's another misconception about me.
No, I know. I'm with you. I give up the phone.
Yeah.
The phone isn't always that fun. And to have a cocktail is occasionally and socially responsibly. What did you think was going to be amazing but turned out to be horrible?
The final season of Game of Thrones.
Oh, okay. Describe a perfect day.
Oh, wow. Just waking up with my son, feeding him, chilling out, music, the beach, cuddles at bedtime, and hanging out on my deck with a couple friends watching the sunset.
You're kind of having perfect days a lot lately, right?
I am actually, weirdly. Yeah, everything's okay right now, weirdly. I mean,
That's so nice.
as the world is in turmoil.
What question do you wish people would stop asking you?
Who's your favorite housewife?
Exactly. What is the best compliment you have ever received?
You're a good dad.
You are.
Thank you.
And a good friend. Thank you for doing this.
My pleasure.
I love you.
Love you. I hope I see you in person sometime.
Me too. And when I do, I'm going to give you a big old squeeze.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'll squeeze you back, but respectfully.
Respectfully, exactly. From a distance. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright. Are you ready? We're going to do our part to spread the word on the importance of vaccines, so crucial for reopening America.
A big day around here. A very special naturalization ceremony.
Many of them doctors, nurses, other essential workers.
If you are a nurse, thank you.
Spring has sprung, guys, and we want to fill this season with some fun and surprises.
Yes.
This is the face of excitement. Celebrating Earth Day.
Let's change the world.
Love it!
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
Good morning. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright.
Half of all U.S. adults now fully vaccinated.
Al is in Cleveland for our Reopening America series.
This is the greatest location in the nation.
Music is back.
Y'all were exactly what we needed.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
What is the biggest misconception about the ballet world?
That it's cutthroat and that we don't support each other and don't get along. And that's not at all, how it is on the inside and behind the scenes. We're a family. We travel the world together. We spend more time with each other than our own families.
It's not Black Swan.
Not exactly.
Good. I couldn't even watch that movie. Misty Copeland, welcome to the 6 Minute Marathon.
Thank you for having me.
Let's start the clock. Here we go. What is your life motto?
Not to let other people's words define me.
How do you find balance in your life?
I use the structure and discipline and all that I've learned through ballet, I think, to really apply that to all that I do in my life. So I'd say ballet keeps me centered and grounded and balanced.
It literally keeps you balanced.
It does.
What is something you would like to learn?
I think I would like to learn other languages, for sure.
Do you know any other languages?
I don't. I have so many that I'm like French and Spanish, and then I just slowly drift from it and fall into other things. But I would love to learn those two languages, Italian too.
Wouldn't it be fun to go to one of those countries and just
kind of soak into the culture for a while?
That's like a dream, to be able to just like move to Tuscany and for a year and just be with the Italian people and learn the language that way.
Me too. I've always wanted to do like an Eat, Pray, Love year. Let's go. When was the first time you realized people knew who you were?
Probably after my first Under Armour campaign, I Will What I Want. I think that was really when I kind of crossed over and even, got the attention and respect of men to see dancers as athletes as well as artists.
What's the best interaction on the street or, with a fan that you've ever had?
I think when I see like young girls that are just overwhelmed because of what I represent and they just get really emotional, and most of my fans want to like touch me and hug me, which I think is such a beautiful thing because I want them to see me as themselves and as human, and so I love that connection that I have with them.
What is your favorite book?
I would say The Power of Now. I think it's Eckhart Tolle. Yeah, I think it's something that I continue to go back to in different times and phases in my life and learn something new from it every time.
What is the biggest misconception about the ballet world?
That it's cutthroat and that we don't support each other and don't get along, and that's not at all how it is on the inside and behind the scenes. We're a family, we travel the world together, we spend more time with each other than our own families, and it really is a supportive environment.
It's not Black Swan.
Not exactly.
Good, I couldn't even watch that movie. Let's see, concert or Broadway show?
Concert. I'm a huge music lover. That was what I grew up on, being played around the house, and that's what motivated me to dance. If there's ever a concert in New York that I'm excited about, I will drop everything to be there.
What's your favorite kind of live music?
I love like soul and R&B, but I do need more Mariah Carey live music in my life. I've only ever been to one concert, and she was my first concert at, I think, 16 years old.
All right, there's no transition to this one. What is a weird food you like that most people don't?
A weird food? I love beets. Like I love vegetables, and I love like the earthiness of a beet. I love them. Just take them whole and roast them with just salt, pepper, and olive oil, and just dig in.
It's funny. I came to beets later in life. Did you like them even when you were little?
I did. I mean, didn't grow up with a lot of options for healthy foods. And so when I was eating it, it was out of the can. So later in life, I realized like, oh, this is something that actually grows from the earth, and I could make it myself.
That's how I felt about cranberries. When I found out that cranberries didn't naturally come with like the can imprint, where you just slice it. Same thing.
Yeah.
Who are you inspired by?
I'm inspired by the youth. I'm inspired by seeing how incredibly powerful and intelligent and the forward thinking and just ability to stand on their own and say what's right. I think it's so impressive, and I think the point of having young people that learn from us is to make them better than we are, and that's how we create a better world and continue to evolve.
Who have you been starstruck in meeting?
I would say President Obama. I've been so fortunate to spend quite a bit of time with him and interview him, but I think every single time he just has such an incredibly powerful and engaging presence, and at the same time he feels like I'm like talking to my dad. So there's like this weird balance of just incredible love and support and power that he possesses.
Where would you like to visit that you haven't been? We know we're going to Tuscany to learn Italian.
I've never been to Spain, and I would love to go to Spain. Yeah.
We'll go there after we go to Italy.
Perfect.
Misty Copeland, great job. You did an awesome job.
Thank you. And that was fun.
Thank you, sweetie. Have a good day.
You too.
I'm gonna go make some beats.
Yes.
Hi, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright.
Half of all U.S. adults now fully vaccinated.
Al is in Cleveland for our Reopening America series.
This is the greatest location in the nation.
Music is back.
Y'all were exactly what we needed.
Make the most of your day with
Today in
30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show.
In a mere 30 minutes.
Savannah and Hoda bring you what you must know. The biggest moments of the morning.
One Republic!
Exclusive interviews.
Why did it work for you?
You're right. I am more talented than the rest.
And important headlines.
Major medical news this morning.
Watch Today in 30 on your schedule. Streaming every day on Today All Day.
It has been a long year.
Yeah, where it's been anything but normal.
Well, now there's hope. The COVID vaccines.
I know. It's been a little confusing.
Like really confusing.
So it's more important than ever to make a plan. Visit planyourvaccine.com
to find out where and when to get your vaccine.
What are you waiting for?
Roll up your sleeves and plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Our Across America journey here in Louisville, Kentucky. Cleveland, reporting on an America rebuilding after the pandemic.
How narrow of a window do you have to really get kids back where we would want them to be?
NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt.
It is a special morning here today, marking 10 years since Savannah Guthrie joined our Today team right here. And we've been celebrating this Savannahversary all morning long. Ms. Guthrie!
Come on over! Please, come on over! The budget to have like double doors.
No, I know. It's just so ridiculous, but thank you. I think we have bigger news, which is Al's daughter getting married.
No.
We're going to get to that.
We'll talk about that.
We're starting with you first.
So how are you feeling?
I feel really grateful and kind of speechless. It's sort of overwhelming. Like it's just too much, but it's so sweet. I'm just soaking it in and appreciating it.
I feel like sometimes people don't get their
blessed.
flowers soon enough. So I feel like it's so great that we're able to push the pause button and celebrate you. So we all have things to say. Mine will be quick.
Is it ever?
It's never quick, but I'm going to make it quick. So one of my highest moments in my life and kind of lowest moments, not lowest moments, but lonely moments, was was it the inauguration? You probably don't even know this. Not the inauguration. Where the presidents are funny. God, my God, what is wrong?
White House Correspondents' Dinner?
White House Correspondents' Dinner. I cannot even believe I forgot that. Anyway, and it was President Barack Obama's last one, so obviously that was a big ticket. But I was new here. I didn't know anybody, and I went by myself because I can get along with pretty much anyone. But that's a different crowd. I'm not in the White House bubble, so I walked in, and it was tough. Like I learned how to be by myself, but it was kind of lonely. And so I remember after it was over, I just kind of felt like a fish out of water. And I was going back to my hotel. It was time to go back. And Savannah just happened to be outside, and she saw me. And she actually saw me. Like, there are a lot of people who kind of look and go another way. And she locked my eyes. And for some reason, I don't know if her soul felt my soul or something, but she's like, come in my car. So we got in the car, and I just start bawling. You probably don't even remember this. And she just affirmed me. And it was like, it's not always easy. This is the network. It's a lot. And I just remember, And I got home, and I was like, Mom, Savannah was just so sweet. And she saw me. And last but not least, the first person who texted me after my vocal surgery, Savannah, scriptures, things to keep you going. She's just that woman. I feel like people need to know behind the scenes, she is everything. She's that woman.
That's the nicest thing I've heard today. And you know what? You're an amazing person, amazing friend. And I'm just
stop tossing it back to me.
No, but I am just so grateful.
Which to that point, for folks out there thinking of like longevity in their jobs, I mean, did you ever have those kind of moments where you felt insecure or, and over the course of 10 years,
it's
like...
all 10 years. All 10 years, even to this moment. I mean, honestly, if I'm really honest, it's like I'm kind of embarrassed because I'm like, I don't even know if people really do like me, yes, I know. And
we all love you.
As we all know, there's there's been ups and downs, but that's what a family is, and it's like, I just feel really, really grateful. And but I remember all those feelings of being like, I don't belong here.
It was tough.
I don't know if I'm going to survive here, and I don't want to be embarrassed, and all of those things, but we're so you know, what this all means to me is just like, my goodness, what a blessing. Like, how lucky am I? How did this happen? How did, like, Savannah from Tucson, of all people, like, this is the craziest thing.
I saw the picture you posted on Instagram.
Everybody needs to go to Instagram.
So you see.
I see.
Yeah, you know what, I'm so embarrassed of that picture, but I just posted it because I'm like, you know what? For every little kid that ever looked like that, who's like, oh, you're going nowhere in life, you know?
True.
Yeah, I feel very grateful.